Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the round 16 clash. Glenelg taking on West Adelaide here at Glenelg Oval. A vital game for the Bays. Want to get 50-50, 7-7 for season 2006 as the umpire holds the ball in the air underway here at Glenelg Oval. First quarter begins. Bounce down. Cranston up against Illman. Illman gets the knock out to Paul Pleasure. Paddles it towards Dragicevic. Gets a quick kick out of the middle looking for O'Sullivan. He's can't find it. It looks like Haynes trying to walk with the football in on his back there. Hollins it was. Runs into trouble. Got a high fend off there and he'll receive the free kick. But West Adelaide play to advantage as it goes to Dragicevic. A sloppy kick cut off by Glenelg, and they'll mount their first attack as Backwell has got a bit of time and space with those lime boots running through the middle of the ground. Kicks into the forward 50 and a great mark taken there by, it looks to be number 26.
That's Rory Kirkby.
That's Kirk B. We've got Kirk A and Kirk B today. Chris.
Yes, Rory Kirkby showing a bit of promise here for the Bays. He'll be lining up for his first shot here just inside the first minute. Perfect conditions here at the Bay Oval. Kirkby lining up from about 40 metres out. Kicks on its way. It's drifting across slightly there, and that's through for a behind. So the Bays one behind at West Adelaide, yet to score. We're about a minute in, and taking the kick out here will be Alex Hutchins in only his second league game. So Hutchins assessing his options. Jakes is making a short lead there and needs to go further afield than that. West Adelaide player breaking it here. It's going in the Daniel Proud direction. Proud makes a good lead and meets it nicely. So West Adelaide haven't moved much further forward. Next kick's going to be vital now. Looking further down the lines, Proud. He opts to go on the members' side, coming out and towards the Brett Backwell direction there. Mopped up well at the back of the pack there by West Adelaide. Handballs off nicely in the Dragicevic direction. Dragicevic puts it towards the centre of the ground there. Cut off neatly there by the Glenelg player. They've got numbers around the ball here, the Bays, if they can get away with it. Nice work there by Kirkby once again. He sends the ball up towards true centre half forward, but coming in and cutting it off for West Adelaide. Can't quite pick up the player there.
Greiger.
Good tackle there. It was Ben Greiger, and met nicely in a tackle there is Matt Doldig, and we're going to have a bounce about 50 metres out from the Glenelg goal.
Yes. So another ball up. Glenelg to point. West Adelaide yet to score. Rucks go at it. Comes out towards Hutchins. Illman follows up his good work out towards Haynes, one of the leading possession getters in the SANFL at the moment. Looking for O'Sullivan on the centre wing position, but it beats him and his opponent over the line, and we'll have a boundary throw in. And yes, a great day for football. Maybe a slight breeze favouring the southern end. Southern end, would you think, fellas?
Yeah, blowing into our face a little bit, if anything else.
So umpire throws the ball back in to play. Cranston wins the knock. Backwell paddles it forward. Illman there doing a bit of hard work there for West Adelaide, but he's wrapped up in a tackle and we'll have another ball up. Just interesting enough, we just noticed last time these two sides met here at Glenelg won, but previous to that, West Adelaide won the last five encounters.
Generally have a fairly good record here. It's coming out, meeting it nicely as Ben Haynes running through the centre of the Glenelg Oval. It takes a bounce and is away with it, puts it up towards true centre, half into the Scott Welsh direction. That's a good mark taken there by the Crows listed forward. About 55 metres out from goal. He's probably just outside his range. He looks to pass it deep in towards the pocket there and towards Luke Jericho. Jericho almost got the grab there but couldn't quite finish it off. Coming through is Ben Haynes there for West Adelaide, just drifting across the face of goal, and that's a behind there for West Adelaide. One behind to each team, and we've gone 3 minutes in here on the C31 Pine Lodge scoreboard.
Yes, and Ben Haynes has got 30 goals for West Adelaide, the leading goal kicker this year, I think. He's got a high tally. I'll just check that.
Probably just about their leading McGarry medal vote getter too.
Yeah, 34 goals, 298 kicks and 378 possessions. Anyway, and a high tally of marks. Anyway, it comes out towards centre wing. Piasani gets a handball back towards the prize, and Archibald has to take on a couple of Bay opponents. Scrambles a kick forward, missed there by Glover. Chance there for Glenelg. No, ball beats that player over the line. We'll have a boundary throw in. So that's Allen for Glenelg. And yes, we'll have these. O'Sullivan will take the ruck, and he looks to be opposed to Cranston for Glenelg. So ball comes in, Cranston wins the knock, comes out to his teammate, picked up by Slattery, dodges one way, then breaks through a line and trying to find Jericho into that pocket there for West Adelaide, but ball beats him and over the line and out on the full.
So Glenelg going to be relieving the pressure here from defence. Coming out and meeting it is David Mitchell at centre half back. He's been a revelation since moving into the back lines. Was recruited originally at the club as a forward, but playing a good role in defence as he passes further down the line there towards Ryan Willets. They're still not out of danger yet, the Bays. Puts the ball out and towards the members' side of the ground here. Coming out there is Justin McConnell. Goes slightly over his head. Meeting it nicely there is the West Adelaide player Ian Glover. He handballs over the top there towards Luke Jericho. Handballs back to Glover. Good 1-2 work there there from Glover. He puts the ball further down the lines there and finds a teammate on a lead there. It's Ben Haynes. He's going to end up kicking about 50 metres out from goal on a slight angle. Breeze, if anything, is going to favour him, provided he starts it to the right. So Ben Haynes lining up now for what will be his 31st goal this season. Certainly been a standout for the Bloods this year. And noticing on the ground there, fellas, Cowlin Buckley, the son of the legendary Jimmy Buckley, 1970s legend here in the SANFL.
Yes.
For his first game.
Absolutely, and there was an interesting stat. Round 15, 1976, West Adelaide comfortably beat Glenelg out at Richmond.
That's
30 years ago.
That's right. Ball goes up there. Couldn't quite get into the scoring zone there for West Adelaide. Snapping over the back there is Mark Dragicevic. Touched on the way out, and the ball dribbles over the boundary line.
So Jimmy Buckley may have well been playing in that game.
He could well have been. Funny, welcome to 6 degrees of Adelaide once again.
Yes.
As the ball's about to come spiralling back in from this boundary throw-in. Coming out into the rucks here, we have O'Sullivan opposed to Cranston. Cranston gets the knockdown, if anything, to Glenelg's advantage. Snapping it nicely off the pack there for the Bays. Back over the boundary line once again.
No,
it's come back in.
Mitchell, the punter.
Actually. Mitchell sends it deep in towards the potential punter there. We're talking about the kicking variety, fellas, not the gamblers. And he sends the ball further out here towards the Charles Slattery direction. Slattery, nice kick there. Isolates a teammate in the centre of the ground. It looks to be Illman there, the former 36er, sends it up towards the full forward line. Great contested mark there taken by Scott Welch. And Welch should be lining up for West Adelaide's first goal. We've gone 5 minutes in. Fellas, that was excellent work there by Matt Illman, showing agility beyond his size.
And not only that, and the kick before from Slattery, good pass, and that's the skills West Adelaide have to maintain. They've got to hit targets, and they've got to find their forwards, or at least give their forwards a 50-50 opportunity to mark the football. As we watch Welsh come in and kicks the goal. So the first goal to West Adelaide, and quite a good goal there, Chris.
Which one are we talking about, Chris Keane or Chris Kendall?
Chris K. CK.
CK, this is going to be fun, because joining us today in the box is Chris Keane. Chris, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, guys. Very good to be here. Excellent goal there by Scott Welsh. I think one-on-one he may struggle against Paul Sherwood today, but I think he may trouble Paul Sherwood for pace, so be interesting to watch out for that one. And I think the Crows will be more than happy to get him back in the team as soon as they can, to get him match fit for the AFL final series coming up.
Okay, back in the middle. The bounce favours Cranston, and the umpire's going to recall it. I don't know whether he had a big night last night, Friday night. We'll see what happens here. Yep, he's going to throw up. Okay.
The ball, it is.
So, yes, throws up the ball and favours Porplecia. Gets a handball out, missed the target, goes in after it again. He's on the bottom of the pack there, Jason Porplecia. And he's wrapped up by the Bay opponents, and the umpire will, he's probably still not, no, he's going to bounce it. He's going to bounce it this again. Fine day here at Glenelg Oval. It goes towards Porplecia, quick kick away. Chance for Vanderloo leading the race of the football. Good handball there by, Hollands. Missed the target, so follows up the football. That's good work. Kick around the corner isn't too good. Cutting it up for Glenelg is Moore, running through the lines. Now, can't seem to get a handle on it, and he's been caught holding the ball, and Piasani will send West Adelaide back into attack.
Yes, he had plenty of time there. More so Piasani disposes into the forward 50. Coming out and meeting it there is the Glenelg defender. Couldn't quite take the mark, though. Glenelg here in a little bit of strife, because West Adelaide have got the numbers around the ball there. They do have enough to get it around if they can get a clear handball away. Got a nice pass out there on the Paul Sherwood direction. He kicks out to the wing. There's only one player, unfortunately. It's West Adelaide, so they've got an absolute bucket of time here. If he can meet it in time, and that's Christian Vanderloo, sends it over the top towards the wing once again there. He finds Daniel Proud. Daniel Proud lurking on the wing here, puts it into the centre half forward direction, looking up into the direction of Scott Welsh once again there. Goes over his head and is met there by Luke Jericho. Luke Jericho, good second effort, tackling his Glenelg opponent, and we're going to have a ball up about 35 metres out from goal. At the moment, West Adelaide 1-1-7, leading the Bays at 1 behind as the ball's about to be thrown up once again. Ruck's going set for it. Advantage to anything if there of Glenelg. Brett Backwell's going in there at the bottom of the packs there. How often do we call that in the season? He's got a free kick once again here, Backwell, to relieve the defensive pressure, and now Glenelg have the chance to run some numbers out here. Signings come out towards the fat side of the ground, if anything else. Running through the lines here are the Glenelg players, mopping up at the back here for the Bays, though. They're going to have a chance here. This next disposal is going to have to be precise. It is. It finds Tylan very nicely. Handball and the ball off further along the lines. Glenelg elected playing down the lines once again there. Tripping over at the back there was Kyle Archibald. He was good enough to retrieve it and send the ball back in the direction of Vanderloo. Goes over his head, however. Met very nicely there by David Mitchell. He's got a chance here to pass it out into the pocket here. Couldn't quite hit the target on the lead there. Running to the ground, if anything, the Bay player. And a free kick there for Aaron Rogers. About 50 25 metres out. I actually thought it was there, Damien, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, no, I think he actually, with the momentum, he fell a bit further. But anyway, it's a kick by Rogers. Doesn't find the teammate. Chance for Graham now. Balks a handball. Gets a shot for goal. Has he kicked truly? No, he hasn't. 1 point. So Glenelg, well, can't find the big white sticks at the moment as the ball comes out immediately from West Adelaide and comes out towards Dragicevic there in the half-back line for West Adelaide. He's got a teammate on in Vanderloo. Vanderloo with the long sleeves today. Kicks up towards the centre wing position, and poor Pleasure has made some space there for West Adelaide. Now he will come in board to Glover. Glover with the headband. Goes one way, then the other. Runs into a bit of trouble. Got around McConnell. Now it kicks up towards the half-forward line. Waiting at the back of the pack was Haynes. Haynes got a man on in Jericho. Jericho just has to turn around and go straight through and kick and goal. And a great goal there by West Adelaide. They get their second. They move on to 2-1-13, leading Glenelg 2 points. And Chris Keane, well, quite an easy goal in the end for
yeah,
the
West
Adelaide
Adelaide
side.
midfield just dominating play at the moment. Glenelg just need to be a bit tighter on their opponents. Luke Jericho just creating a bigger space for himself and fortunately getting on the end of that one.
And just looking at the Thornton sports bet, Glenelg were $1.12 to win today and West Adelaide $4.50.
You'd be happy if you had a piece of the $4.50 if you happen to be a punter at the moment.
Yes, that's right.
Ball is back in the centre of the Glenelg oval here. West Adelaide 2-1, leading Glenelg 2 behinds. The time clock tells us we've got 11 minutes into this first quarter. Umpire bounces the ball into the turf. That's slightly better than last time. Not much, however. Cranston sends it down to the West Adelaide player in Piacenti. Met nice at the back there by Backwell. He handballs off there to Ben Moore, but he's going to pay the advantage here to Moore. Ball comes back into the Ben Moore direction. It bounces over his head, however, and mopping up nicely there is Jason Pleasure. Takes a bounce. He seems to have an eternity of time to run. Puts the ball deep into the goal square here. Scott Welch is in the perfect position for it, and he marks it beautifully there, Scott Welch. So inside the first 11 minutes of the game, Scott Welch lining up for his second goal. That was all too easy there for Jason Pleasure, Damien.
That's right, and you could see Moore. I mean, it didn't go his way. He dropped the head immediately. So a little bit of concern in the Glenelg camp at the moment as we see Scott Welch line up for his second goal. And well, for the record, so far this year, West Adelaide always seem to win after the Crows play Friday night at Football Park.
Welcome to Obscure Stats on the Pine Lodge studio. Chris, that was very good work there from Jason Pleasure, doing his chances of a recall no harm.
Yes, well, I think he probably almost could have had another 20 metres in front of him where he could have run on, but doing the team thing, he set the ball up to the front of the square, and Scott Welch is going to win that contest more times than not.
Well, Scott Welch, I don't think, well, he didn't have much of an opportunity in the wet last week against Sturt. Let's hope he can kick a few goals today for West Adelaide and find a bit of form and find himself back on the Crow side. Back in the middle, Rucks go at it again. Cranston gets the knock, goes out towards McConnell. He's unable to pick up the football, has to go in after it again. Glenelg now with numbers around the football, comes to the line boots in Backwell. Backwell's kick was smothered. Illman there doing quite a bit of work there for West Adelaide. The Glenelg crowd want a free kick. None forthcoming. Backwell, quick hands there to a teammate in Douglas. And it was Ruwalt. And Ruwalt's kick has found a forward in Rogers. And Rogers may have the opportunity, Chris, to put Glenelg's first goal on the board.
That was really good work there from the forward in Ruwald, as we see a change here. Cranston going off and Daniel Kirk coming on for his first run. Showing a bit of class there, Ruwald, and now we see Aaron Rogers having a chance at his first goal. They do need to get one fairly soon, otherwise West Adelaide have a pinch on for getting away from teams. Kicks on its way. No problems with that kick whatsoever there. Nice goal there from Aaron Rogers. That's his first. Glenelg move on to 1 goal, 2-8. West Adelaide 3-1-19.
Yeah, good play there from Glenelg. Mark Ruwalt could have opted to bomb long, but he chose to hit the leading player in Aaron Rogers. And Aaron Rogers, Glenelg's leading goal kicker this year with, I think, the late 20s. Him and Matt Doherty probably need to get their hands on the ball a lot today for Glenelg to get up.
Yes. And another interesting stat, the Glenelg are the highest, they're averaging 20 free kicks. Highest average this year in free kicks. West Adelaide the lowest with 15.
The umpires friend the Bays as the ball goes back into the centre of the ground once again. Straight onto the chest there of Mark Dragicevic. He can't quite get away, unfortunately, though. Glenelg got the numbers around the ball here. Running Douglas. Through is Richard Douglas, the Crows listed player. We've got a few Crows players out on the ground today playing for opposing teams. Mopping up nicely there at the back there is Hutchins. Sends the ball over there in the Matt Illman direction, showing a bit of agility. He passes off to Mark Dragicevic. Puts the ball out in front of Luke Jericho. He's got plenty of time and space to run. Sends the ball into the forward lines there. Ben Haynes having a bit of a rest up forward, but cutting it off nicely there is Ben Moore. He sends the ball back down the lines there. Two Bays players crashing, going for the mark there. Could have almost been a disaster, but coming out and emerging with it is Ty Allen.
Yes, Allen now to relieve the pressure for Glenelg. Just opts to go short, and he's found a teammate and can't pick up that player with the hairdo. Anyway, kicks after the half-forward line, looking for the tall timber. Chance for number 26.
Rory Kirkby.
Kirkby, yes, Kirkby. Chance for McConnell at the back of the pack. Kicks, and he makes no mistake and puts Glenelg's second goal on the board. They go to 2-2-14. Trailing West Adelaide 3-1-19, Chris Keane.
Yeah, West Adelaide going to have to watch Justin McConnell. He's as slippery as they come. That's about the third time today I've seen him push up forward, and the first time the players have actually seen him. He's going to hit that goal more times than he misses, so very impressive player for Glenelg this year.
Been very good since coming over from the VFL. Already has 6 votes in the C31 Player of the Year, but I just like the way that he manages to sweep off that half-back line every week.
And Glenelg's highest average kick getter presently. So back in the middle. So back to now, fairly even contest. Rucks go at it. Chance for Slattery. Read that ball beautifully, coming through the middle. Kick up towards the forward line. He's got Jericho and Haynes there. Chance for Jericho, and he breaks 2 tackles, gets a handball away. Welsh snaps it onto the boot, but unfortunately he didn't have time enough to have a look at the goals. And West Adelaide get another behind. So they're 3-2-20, leading Glenelg by an even goal.
Just a touch selfish there by Jericho. He had an opportunity to do the first hands, decided to try and go for the goals himself, spun himself back into trouble. Glenelg coming out with the fullback kicking. Looking there.
Punter. It's the punter.
It's the punter, David Mitchell there. David Mitchell puts the ball onto the chest of a teammate there. He handballs the ball off, and running through again once again is David Mitchell. That's a terrible kick. The only person he's found, unfortunately, is going to be Charles Slattery, who is away with it if he can get through. Breaks the tackle nicely there, shows a slippery pair of heels there. Slattery puts it over the head slightly there of Luke Jericho, who's going to be good enough to recover, but coming through and meeting it nicely there is Ruwal. They've got the chance to relieve the pressure right in front of the member side wing here. Coming out and meeting it very solidly there for the Bays is the player in Matthew Dolding. He elects to play the ball down the lines here. He's got a contest here at the back of the pack there. Couldn't quite take the mark there, and they've got the chance to relieve the pressure now, the Bays. Good work coming through the lines here is Ross Glover, the headbanded Ross Glover. He puts the ball in the direction here, once again, of his teammate in Caelan Buckley. That's his first kick in league company so far for the statisticians. Coming out and meeting it, though, is Ross Glover. He puts the ball into the forward line here for West Adelaide, and a good mark taken there by Ben Haynes. Ben Haynes goes around once, goes around twice. He's going to have a shot at the goals here. 45 metres out. That's a beautiful goal there from Ben Haynes. That's his first for the day, and they move on to 4 goals, 2-26, leading Glenelg 2-2-14. Fellas, that was really clever work there from Ben Haynes.
Yeah, looked, just did that too easily, didn't he? He turned Ben Mules inside out, and not too many players can kick a goal from that kind of angle here at Glenelg into that type of breeze. So, excellent play, Ben Haynes.
Yes, very talented player. That's his 35th goal, as a matter of fact, this season. So 35 goals from an on-ball or a half-forward flanker. Not a bad effort so far. So West Adelaide stretch their lead. They're out to 4-2-26 to 2-2-14. Back in the middle. Rucks go at it again. Chance for Glenelg to clear out. Yeomans is there. Handball over to McConnell. McConnell now gets it onto the punter in David Mitchell. And that's a big booming kick into the forward line, but it's going to give the West Adelaide defenders an opportunity to spoil it, and they do, and it's over the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw in here in the forward pocket.
You reckon Brett Backwell fancies his chance in the McGarry? Those boots?
Well, he wants to increase his chances, I think. The long sleeves and the line boots. First time we've seen line boots. Throw in. Chance for Douglas now. The Crows listed player. Chips in the inboard. Not a good kick. Dragicevic, a wild handball. Finds no one. Chance for Moore now to send the Tigers back inside 50. He's got Douglas there. He's unable to complete the mark, and the ball trickles over the line, and it'll be a boundary throw in again in that forward pocket for Glenelg.
I think the only better pair of boots I've seen in the SANFL this year are Alwyn Davey. Very impressive down there. The lightning bolt at Panther Park. Ball's about to come back into play. 25 metres around from the Bay's goal. West Adelaide 4-2-26, leading Glenelg 2-2-14. Rucks go at it there. Neither player could get the advantage. Good snap there by the aforementioned boot magnet in Brett Backwell. Ball goes dribbling through for a behind, however, and that moves the Bays on to 2-3-15. Trailing West Adelaide 4-2-26. Taking the kick out is the second gamer in Alex Hutchins. He's looking for options further up the ground here. Starting to break for him now. David Piacenti, the captain in the centre of the ground there. Might be a good career move to pass it to him long term, but he decides to go further afield by the looks of it. He's got 3 players out here. The only player he's found almost is Brett Backwell there. The Archibald prize there couldn't quite take it and decides to bundle the ball over the boundary line there. We've gone 19 minutes in this first quarter.
And Backwell's taken a dive. First dive since the soccer.
Yeah. He was inspired, no doubt, by the deeds of Ronaldo. The ball comes spiralling back into play once again. Kirk gets front position and wins the tap out nicely there. Coming through and meeting it there is Mark Dragicevic. Backwell was held off the ball. There could have been a free. West Adelaide player taken a little bit high there. They're appealing for holding the ball, but the umpire decides to let it go on. Coming out there is the Glenelg player, and meeting it is Mark Rewald. Ball goes dribbling over the boundary line, and we've got a sense of Groundhog Day 5 metres around.
Yes. Yep, well, Pack's developing there. West Adelaide, well, they've started off pretty well. They're maybe looking at containing Glenelg in the next few minutes. As the ball comes into play, Illman in the best position, gets out towards Vanderloo. Vanderloo got a man at the back of the pack, and then it's Glover. Glover's over to Piasani. Piasani's backed up well by Proud. West Adelaide attacking through the middle. Chance there for Welsh, but the ball gets away from him. Glenelg now with the opportunity through Panazzo, but he's run out of room, and we'll have a boundary throw in on the half-forward line for West Adelaide. We've gone nearly 20 minutes of this first term, and West Adelaide with a 9-point margin as a free kick's been sorted out, going to the son of Jimmy Buckley. And he chips it across to Slattery, who started off pretty well today.
So Slattery plays the ball further down the lines there. No real one target out there to meet it. The only player who's going to get there is Mark Rewald there for Glenelg, but he elects to bundle the ball over the boundary line. Bit of an unusual kick there from Slattery. Luke Jericho waving his hands in the centre of the ground there. Don't blame you, Luke, because you're in clear position. Unfortunately, your teammate didn't see you as the ball's about to come back in here 35 metres around from the West Adelaide goal. They lead Glenelg by 11 points. Boundary throw in there. Ruck's going at it. They're meeting it down at the front of the pack for West Adelaide. There is the player in Jason Paul-Pleasure, but running nicely out of the back lines here, Glenelg. They've got the numbers. The only player that's in that vicinity, however, is Christian Vanderloo. He's got a paddock. This next kick's going to be very important. He needs to find a target, and he does, and it's Luke Donaldson. Probably too far out to score. He's going to end up kicking from about 55 metres out. He's looking for Scott Welch to make a lead. Luke Jericho leads towards the pocket, ignores that and decides to go long. Booming kick there from Luke Donaldson. I tell you what, we might have called the wrong player the punter, because that's a huge kick there from the vice-captain in Donaldson. That's his first. West Adelaide 5 goals, 2-32. Glenelg 2-3-15. Chris, I didn't expect that Donaldson was going to have a ping at goals there at all.
No, I saw the lead from Jericho, and I thought that would have been something of excellent variety. But look, excellent kick. Have a shot. You never know here at Glenelg. The wind changes all over the place. So great goal for West Adelaide.
Yeah, back in the middle. So West Adelaide stretching their lead now out to 17 points here at the Glenelg Oval. And, well, West Adelaide certainly have started well, out of the blocks well today. Okay, back in the middle, we've got Donaldson who kicked that last goal. His kick this time is smothered.
Yeah.
Chance for Kirk A. But the ball's kicked away from him, and Hollins is chipped in for West Adelaide and taken a mark. And West Adelaide look very inspired.
They do. They're a great mark taken there by Dutchie Hollins. That is real courage. His career's been a little bit at the crossroads since coming back from Victoria. Of course, winning the Foss Williams medal twice. Found himself languishing in the reserves there for a couple of weeks, but that was really gutsy work, and that's the sort of 1%er that a coach would love to see. Hollins is going to end up lining up from about 53 metres out here. Breeze, perhaps very slightly behind him, kicks on its way. It's drifting off towards the left. I don't think it's going to be a score, but coming out and trying to take the mark, or claim it rather, is Luke Jericho, but the ball had gone out on the full before that. So Glenelg have the opportunity to relieve the pressure there. Now is David Mitchell running through the centre there. He handballs off to a teammate there. Coming out there is Lucas Panozzo to take the grab there. They're still not quite out of danger, and they're letting to pass the ball back across the ground here, the Bays. Quickest way to go forward is to go straight down the lines. Bryce Gibbs here, possible #1 draft pick. They're playing for him in Melbourne today, apparently. Let go of it. There is the Glenelg player there. He was bundled off it very haphazardly, and Richard Douglas has the opportunity to relieve the pressure here for the Bays.
Yeah, we've got Dean Gladley here, so he's probably obviously having a look at Gibbs today. Perhaps Ben Haynes, perhaps Luke Jericho.
Would imagine that Gibbs would be gone by the time they have their first pick.
Who knows? Anyway, what can happen? Well, quite a few transactions will take place between now and November. Anyway, as we see West Adelaide now into attack again, but kick didn't find a target, and Glenelg may get out of this. But West Adelaide have other ideas as the ball is held up there, and we'll have a ball up on the outer side of the ground. it was Willits at the bottom of the pack.
Let's have a look at back here. Justin McConnell hasn't had an opponent for the last 2 minutes, and he's just starting to move off now and towards the half-back line. No one still picked him up.
Right, well and West Adelaide have got one off the pack too in Vanderloo. So it was, yep, ball didn't go nowhere there, so the umpire has no choice but to bounce it again. 25 minutes gone on this first term. Rucks go at it again. Chancellor O'Sullivan gets it out towards Portlesia now. He's got a teammate there in Vanderloo, runs into a bit of trouble, tries to get the handball across to Donaldson, but didn't get there. The boundary line beat them, and we'll have a boundary throw in right in front. Well, I know the free kick's been, obviously, Vanderloo was incorrectly disposed of.
Yeah, taken high, I think.
Taken high in the tackle.
So Vanderloo on centre wing right in front of the corner side of on. What a legendary name that is down here at the Bay. Vanderloo pops the ball deep into the forward 50 here. Taken slightly out of position there is Scott Welsh. Glenelg have got the numbers at the back here to try and relieve. Meeting it nicely there is Ryan Willits there. He's taken high there by the West Adelaide player. Couldn't quite get a handle on it though, Willits. And now we're going to have a ball up about 25 metres out from goal. A couple of West Adelaide players out the back here waving their arms. They'd be better off finding an opponent. One of them might be nice if it was Justin McConnell, because he's still running around without anybody actually near him. Quite interesting there. Ball comes over the top there. Winning the tap nicely is Ryan O'Sullivan. Sends the ball in towards the attacking zone once again there. Ryan Willits punches the ball back towards the boundary line there. Coming out and meeting it there is Luke Donaldson. Can't get a disposal away in time, and we're going to have another throw in. 27 minutes gone in the first quarter here at Glenelg Oval. West Adelaide 5-2-32, leading Glenelg 2-3-15.
Yes, boundaries throw in that vacant area there. In the forward pocket for West Adelaide. Jericho as accompanying O'Sullivan in the ruck for West Adelaide. Comes out, quick kick comes out. Pierce Sandy charging through, trying to mount something for West Adelaide. Comes towards Bricknell, but his handball went straight to Douglas for Glenelg. Douglas now round the corner, but missed his teammate. Archibald handballs over to the top, over towards Vanderloo. Vanderloo now will send West Adelaide deep into attack, looking for one of those Crows forwards, but Ben Moore has other ideas and rebounds for Glenelg. Now here's this man McConnell, who hasn't had an opponent and still hasn't got an opponent, and he's got another teammate free in Graham. Will the bell set up nicely for him? Handballs over the top to Dolding. Here's a chance for Glenelg. The kick by Dolding. Bit rushed there. He probably... Yes, bit rushed there by Matthew Dolding, and yeah, unfortunately they missed it. Well, a great scoring opportunity there, Glenelg.
That really hurts, that sort of thing, because when you've got numbers running forward to the ball there, you have to make sure that final shot is going to be a goal. Otherwise, all of that hard work's wasted. The other thing is it now gives West Adelaide a chance to reset and find some matchups here. We see a man finally going over there to Justin McConnell. Thank goodness for all concerned. Unfortunately, not for McConnell.
But there's a good bit of pressure there by West Adelaide.
It is very good work there from West Adelaide. Ball comes back in towards the centre from the kick out, and meeting it nicely there is Matthew Ullman, the second player to transfer from the Adelaide 36ers back to SANFL. Trivia question to the breakers to who the other one was. Ball comes out there from Donaldson. He handballs the ball over there towards Matthew Ullman. Goes back there towards Alex Hutchins. He puts the ball back out towards Luke Donaldson. That's his third possession in this portion of play. Ball goes down the lines there, smothered off the boot there. Coming out and meeting it there is the neon-booted Brett Backwell. Goes back in and meet it there once again is Luke Donaldson. 4 possessions. Let's keep a count of them, fellas. Tackled there nicely there, Daniel Proud, the West Adelaide player. Ball goes back in and to the pack situation, and it's bundled over the boundary line once again in front of the cattle crash repair sign. West Adelaide have a 16-point lead here. Just gone 28 minutes into the quarter.
Yes, boundaries. So, yeah, we should thank Damotainment for our commentators today. Damotainment.com for all your corporate needs. Okay, as from the boundary throw-in, no one was able to take away the football, so we'll have another stoppage. There have been quite a few stoppages in this first term. Umpire's been kept very busy out there. Bounces the ball. They've been bouncing actually pretty well. I haven't had to recall too many bounces. Can't for West Adelaide as Bricknell gets the kick away from the stoppage. But it's Willits. What you're talking about, Willits for Glenelg. Marks at the back of the pack. He's got McConnell again, who's found some space. Certainly racking up the possessions for Glenelg. As McConnell comes through the middle, Welsh is a long way from goal, trying to cut that off. But falls to a Glenelg teammate looking for Dolding. Ball punched away from him. Chance for Proud if he can get a handle on the football. Goes back to Haynes. He stops and props and looks around, turns around and he's found a teammate in Slattery. Slattery was about to go. He's called to play on now. And he's got a teammate running. Is that Hollands? Yep, Hollands wastes no time. Kicks beautifully to Portlesia, and that's a great passage of play by West Adelaide. Their skills certainly a marked improvement on last week, Chris.
Certainly are, and good to see all the players going over there and recognising Daniel Proud. That all started with him. That was 2 fantastic efforts off the ball there, those second and third efforts, and the 1%ers there is what set up that goal there. Great work there by the young fella. He hasn't even played 10 games of league football yet and really setting an example for his teammates. So West Adelaide having a chance now to build that lead at quarter time through Jason Pleasure. Kicks on its way from about the 40-metre mark, straight over the goal umpire's hat there. That was never going to miss. West Adelaide move on to 6 goals to 38, leading Glenelg 2 goals 4-16. Couple of concerning signs here for the Bays, Chris.
Yes, West Adelaide just more, they're harder at it. They're using the ball much better, and they've just got more numbers at the play. Players like Pleasure, Jericho and Welsh are getting on the end of it and just really impressing me today. So.
Yes. Yeah, that West Adelaide on-ball division, Damien, is going to be hard to shut down on a long-term basis, isn't it, if you start playing a bit too wide of them?
Absolutely, and they seem to be rotating a few, which we haven't seen Donaldson much through in the middle of the ground.
No.
He's generally regarded as a back pocket player out at Richmond. And, well, a couple of moves, shuffle the side around, bring in a couple of young players. Maybe that might be the chemistry that gets West Adelaide their second victory. As from the ball up, it's more leading in the race of the ball, but he had Slattery on top of him, but Allen gets a handball out for Glenelg, running through a series of handballs, and here's that man again with the line boots. Can't wait for another night game. Backwell gets a handball over to Allen. Allen sends Glenelg on the forward 50, and a nice mark there taken by Kirkby. Kirkby give handballs over to Dolding, and Glenelg get their third goal. They move on to 3-4-22, trailing West Adelaide 6-2-38. Chris Keane.
Yeah, much needed goal for Glenelg. The game's just starting to slip away from him. Good team play there by Glenelg. Brett Backwell getting on the ball on the wing, stopping, propping and getting the ball on, and Matt Doherty getting on the end of that one. Excellent play.
Yes.
Good unselfish play there, if nothing else, too, because he had a chance to run and kick the goal himself there, but spotted his teammate running through the square. Bit of a contrast to a few minutes ago at the other end of the ground where Luke Jericho had the opportunity to do the same thing and missed. So the ball's back into the centre of the Glenelg Oval. West Adelaide now opening out to a 16-point lead. Their ball's thrown up this time. Craig Doddridge didn't back himself in to bounce it. Ball goes in the Luke Donaldson direction. He sends the ball tumbling out in the West Adelaide forward area. Coming out to meet it there is Jason Pleasure. Good hands there. He finds Luke Jericho, hands it back over towards Pleasure. Bit of a sloppy handball there, and coming in and cutting it off nicely there is Ryan Willits. Great smother there from Luke Jericho, though, made up for the previous clanger from before. Ryan Willits comes out to meet it once again. Luke Jericho is in there buttering up once again, however, and Scott Bricknell snaps the ball in the direction here of Scott Welsh there, punched away, and that's the siren as we've gone 31 minutes here in that first quarter. West Adelaide 6 goals to 38, leading Glenelg 3 goals for 22.
And we'll be back with the second quarter very shortly. Oval, it's 6-2-38. West Adelaide leading Glenelg 3-4-22. Rucks go at it. Chance now for Backwell. Fights the pack and gets a handball over to Moore. Moore now will get the clearance for Glenelg as they come out of the middle and find forward in Kirkby. Kirkby kicks to Kirk A. How about that for a combination? Good forward movement there, so obviously Mark Micken getting stuck into the Bay team at quarter time there, Chris.
Yeah, not exactly happy with them, that's for sure. Said that their second and third efforts really were lacking. That's a fair assessment. Wayne Wiedemann just urging his players that only half the job's done so far. They really have to try and build on this start now.
I would say only a quarter of the job has been done so far.
Very true.
As we wait on Daniel Kirk for Glenelg, taking plenty of time. Lucky enough, the shot clock isn't in place here at Glenelg Oval as we wait on him and kicks truly. Nice kick there off the boot by Daniel Kirk and gets Glenelg's fourth goal on the board. They move to 4-4-28, trailing West Adelaide 6-2-38, a 10-point margin in favour of Westies. Chris Keane.
Yeah, that's what Glenelg need to do. Their quick scoring is a feature this season. Daniel Kirk getting the ball out of the ruck, Brett Backwell getting on the end of it, Ben Moore getting on the end of that. Quick kick to Roy Kirkby, who's been presenting very well up forward today and all year. Daniel Kirk going the end of it, so good goal Glenelg.
And we find Kirk in the ruck. So after a goal, is that the policy? After you get a goal, you got to go in the ruck. So we're just waiting on umpire. Who was that umpire?
That's Ben Duff about to bounce the ball into the
Duff.
turf there. It's a
okay,
terrible
and
bounce.
It's a Duffy sort of bounce, so he's probably going to throw up.
Do you reckon that they might call him Duffman among all the umpires?
Perhaps, maybe at training on Thursday nights. Okay, he's looking around. Can I get away with another? No, we're going to throw it up. Okay, Illman up against Kirk. 50-50 contest there as Dragicevic tries to get a kick away. That's smothered. Comes out towards Piasandi. He's got Vanderloo. the Curry on the in the middle of the ground and comes out towards Dutchy Hollands. Dutchy Hollands wastes no time forward, leading in Welsh. Knocked away from him, but a chance for Buckley. Handsball's back in the direction of Welsh. Can't get there. Sherwood's holding it up firmly for Glenelg, and we'll have a ball up just inside Gleneld's 50.
Yeah, Paul Sherwood just reminding the first gamer who's had more experience there. Coming over the top there is O'Sullivan and winning the ball. Slung off it there, Scott Welsh there. Late tackle on the Glenelg player, and we are now going to have a chance to relieve the pressure here for the Bays in Jared Sundquist. So Sundquist,
the former Sydney Swan.
That's true.
Played a few games for the Swan.
No relation to the Sunkist drink. Puts it out into the Justin McConnell direction there. Coming out and spoiling nicely there is his fellow long-sleeved opponent in Christian Vanderloo, and we're going to have a throw in about 53 metres around from the West Adelaide goal. They're leading by 10 points at the moment, 2 minutes into this second quarter. Rucks go out. O'Sullivan opposed there to Willits. Willits gets the advantage, but only goes as far as Buckley there. It's a clever kick underneath there. He finds a man there in Luke Jericho, perhaps held on to slightly too long there. Good hands there from Jericho back in the Buckley direction. But he's going to get a free kick there, Buckley, and that's probably not a bad decision at all. Was taken slightly high, so Buckley has an opportunity for his first goal in league company. He'll be lining up in the end about 35 metres around. It's on a fairly sharp angle. He might want to try the banana kick if anything else. Ben Haynes lending a bit of assistance there. Ben Haynes not afraid to speak his mind at the best of times.
Yep.
And sensible for a behind there, Buckley. So West Adelaide 6-3, 39, Glenelg 4-4, 28, Damien.
Yes, he should have gone on the check side instead of the banana there, I reckon. But anyway, so we've got the punter, or the potential punter, in Mitchell for Glenelg to be the custodian. A thumping kick. Let's see what he does with this one. The Glenelg teammates are spread far and wide. Actually, not too many are inside the 50, but he's still going to chip inside the 50. Out towards the back pocket there, finding a teammate in number 11 in Sundquist, the soft drink. So he gives him a good spray. Goes up towards half forward there. Thumped away. Chance for Backwell. Gets a handball out towards a teammate. Mitchell there backing up well. Gets a handball back to the captain of the Bayside and Mules. Mules now on to Sundquist. Sundquist over to Mules, and Mules out towards the outer side of the ground, and he's got Backwell there. Backwell, what was he on? What TV show was he on again?
David Letterman.
David Letterman, that's right. The guest appearance, a celebrity in Backwell.
On at the same time as Cheryl Crow, if I recall. The ball comes further down here. Oh, a big fly over the back there from the West Adelaide player. It was deemed to be a push in the back, not a realistic attempt to mark. And Ben Moore has an opportunity to send the Bays deep into attack. He'll be kicking from about 70 metres out. He's found a man all by himself there in the pocket.
Graham.
And it's the second gamer, young Graham. Very impressive last week. Best on ground, 29 possessions and a goal in his league debut. So Graham having an opportunity here to line up.
Any relation to Billy Graham?
I think it's safe to say he's not related to Michael Graham.
No.
So
just thinking of that hairdo, but anyway.
No, I did get the reference there, and I'm sure that plenty of the viewers at home would have as well. So coming in here, Graham lining up.
Looks confident.
Kicks on its way. Not going to quite make the distance. It's going to fall about 5 metres short there. Good mark at the front of the pack here for the Bays. That looks to be Daniel Kirk. And he's now going to line up on a sharpish angle, only from about 7 to 10 metres out. Angle's going to be a bit of a concern. You think he's going to try and run around slightly and improve the angle. But Captain Kirk lining up here. He's going a long way back. I don't go that far back for holidays.
I don't go that far back for a run-up in cricket.
So Kirk lining up here. Distance won't be a trouble. This will be only his 17th goal in league company if he can slot it through. Kicks on its way. Oh, it swung around a little bit, not quite enough there. So the Bays move on to 4-5 at 29, trailing West Adelaide at 6 goals, 3:39. We've gone 6 minutes in here, the C31 Pine Lodge match of the day. Yeah,
so he actually didn't look too confident going back for that, Kirk. So it was just walking. He was looking around as soon as he got the football. He wanted to pass off immediately as soon as he got it. Anyway, West Adelaide will kick out from defence, and in the back pocket there is Proud for West Adelaide. He's looking to flick the switch and comes back to the full-back position to Hutchins, the other newcomer for the West Adelaide side. Hutchins goes back towards Haynes. Haynes juggles and unable to complete the mark and is a bit frustrated there, and he kicks the ball away, and is he going to be penalised for that?
Fair call. Yep. The whistle had blown and he was still swinging his foot in the art of it. He still had time to withdraw from that, so a slightly technical, although perfectly free kick.
So it looks like Richard Douglas for Glenelg. In the forward pocket there, lining up. No, he's going to kick to the top of the square. A couple of play players there, thumped away by Archibald. Crashing through was Hutchins. Will the umpire deem that holding the ball?
Oh,
gee.
No, I don't think so.
Was persuaded by the crowd, I think, in the end there. And, well, Glenelg, there it is. There's evidence for you. The umpire's friend.
Well, yes, but if prior opportunities come down to 1.5 seconds, this game's going to be in a lot of strife because we're going to see only about 2 goals kicked in the whole match. So, Justin McConnell here, the umpire's friend, and obviously Christian Vanderloo's enemy because they're playing a fair way apart of each other. McConnell lining up here, the former VFL recruit, comes in, kicks on its way, straight through the centre there. That's Justin McConnell's second for the day. The Bay's moving on to 5-5-35, trailing West Adelaide at 6-3-39. Chris, a somewhat soft free kick.
Yeah, no, I thought it was very soft. I think umpire probably could have let that go a little bit longer, but disappointing act by Ben Haynes out in the forward flank there. Those sort of acts just let the team down, and just not what West Adelaide need right now with Glenelg rebuilding.
Yeah, a bit one-dimensional on that side of things there, Ben Haynes.
So back in the middle, and it's Craig Doddridge with the football in the centre of the ground here to recommence play. Rucks go at it. Kirk A wins the knock to Backwell. Backwell is wrapped up in a tackle, but Glenelg managed to win the football. Richard Douglas gets a handball onto Moore. Moore running through traffic. Is he kicking well, but he kicks to a teammate. Matthew Doldig is taking a fine mark, plays on a middle. He kicks around the corner, and he kicked it high, wide, and handsome, and truly, and gets the 6 points. And Glenelg take the lead here at Glenelg Oval. They move on to 6-5-41. Leading West Adelaide 6-3-39, Chris.
Yeah, you just get the feeling Glenelg will go right back in this contest. They've now hit the lead, but again, it was out of the middle. Daniel Kirk down to Brett Backwell, onto Ben Moore, and that has worked well all day.
Yes,
fantastic goal.
Yes, there will certainly, I think shifting Kirk into the ruck has certainly improved things in the middle for the Glenelg side.
Certainly has been there. So the big red-headed ruckman pouring up the ground, waiting for the umpire to hurl the ball into the turf once again. Rucks go at it. That's a great bounce there. Matt Illman comes out there. Probably gets the advantage if anything goes down in the Brett Backwell direction. They've got numbers running out of the back of the centre here. And West Adelaide have a chance to relieve. And he finds a man in Ben Haynes once again there. Ben Haynes is going to be too far out to score. Puts the ball out in the direction here of Scott Welsh. That's a good juggling mark taken there by Scott Welsh. A couple of members of the crowd don't like it. Nothing much wrong with it. Had plenty of control. So the Adelaide Crows forward lining up for what will be his 3rd goal. He's been very sharp today and probably the product of A, better delivery, and B, much better conditions than what we called last week, Damien.
Yes, and actually he was a bit clever there with the lead. He led one way up towards the middle of the ground, and then right at the very last moment when Haynes was about to kick, led towards that vacant pocket.
And good work there also from Mark Dragicevic in forming the foil and just bumping the Glenelg player off as Welsh lining up from about 40 metres out. Distance not a problem there. Accuracy is slightly, however, and that drifts off for one behind there for Scott Welsh. Glenelg 6-5-41, leading West Adelaide 6-4-40. Just having a look at one of the scores from the other grounds there. Port Adelaide and North Adelaide, 15 goals between them in the first quarter, so a real shootout at the Albert Noble. Eagles currently leading Sturt by 9 goals. Some people thought Sturt were a chance in that game. No names mentioned, and Central Districts just getting a slender lead here over Nord as David Mitchell is about to send the ball back into play here for the Bays. The punter looking for some options further afield there. Richard Douglas makes a lead and is ignored. Making a lead here once again is Ty Allen. He is also ignored. Mitchell elects to kick the ball further down the lines there, but he's kicked the ball over the line there. So this is an opportunity now for the Bays to get, West Adelaide's get another scoring opportunity here. Slightly silly work there from David Mitchell. He had plenty of time, and I've always thought that it's an unforgivable free to give away because every single player knows you do not go over the line when you're going for the kick in.
Well, I think he was caught in 3 minds there. He had plenty of options on.
Coming over the top here and punching it through there. Trying for a rush behind there was Ryan Willits, but the ball is bundled over the boundary line there by Welsh. So we're going to have a throw in right around from the behind post here. West Adelaide trailing by 1 point, 10 minutes in on the Balfour's time clock.
Yes. So, well, Glenelg with the ascendancy in this second term come out of the blocks pretty well after a spray by Mark Micken at quarter time. Rucks go at it again. Backwell certainly getting himself in the right position there, but his handball's not up to the equal task. Out towards West Adelaide player looking for O'Sullivan. Buckley's in there for West Adelaide. Gets a handball onto Paul Pleasure. Paul Pleasure is a rushed handball onto a teammate. Comes back to Paul Pleasure. Kicks around the corner. A good goal kicker is Paul Pleasure. And that one is no exception. Another goal to West Adelaide. And they take a slender lead of 5 points. They move on to 7-4-46, leading Glenelg 6-5-41. Chris.
Yeah, terrific goal, Jason Porplesia. Kicked it around the body. The wind just sort of sailed it on through, but excellent forward line pressure from the Bloods. They look like they're just trying to get themselves back into this contest.
Certainly are. Well, Glenelg with the 1 point margin, and West Adelaide thought, well, we better do something. We've got a game on our hands. Back in the middle again, comes out towards Piasani. Obviously, he's been moved out of the middle. Rebounding kick out towards that player again in Paul Pleasure. He's got a couple of goals here for West Adelaide. Bangs it on the boot. Chance, it doesn't bounce nicely for Slattery, but it goes towards Welsh. Welsh there has got a teammate right on his hammer and tack, and he picks up the football. He does it pretty well. Rebounding out of defence with Sherwood. Handball over to Ruwalt. Ruwalt ball didn't quite reach the target, and we'll have a ball up right in front of us on the card table here at Glenelg Oval.
Yeah, he just put his teammate under the pump there a little bit, so opportunity for West Adelaide to continue on that ascendancy. Good tap there from Matthew Ullman. It only goes down as far as Mark Ruwald. He elects to put the ball further down the grandstand wing. Coming out and reading it nicely there is the Glenelg player in Rory Kirkby. He puts the ball further in towards the centre of the ground where he finds Justin McConnell. McConnell just spills the mark there, and he's wrapped up in a tackle there nicely. Crowd calling for ball, and it has been granted there. Prior opportunity there for Justin McConnell. So West Adelaide having a chance now to set up a scoring opportunity there. Kicking straight to the man on the mark there is Alex Hutchins, unfortunately, however. Now they've got 3-on-1 here, but Glenelg are building the pressure. This next kick's going to be critical, and that's the second clanger there in 20 seconds for the youngster and Alex Hutchins. So coming out for the free kick will be Brett Backwell.
Yes,
bit of an experience there from Hutchins.
That was the Comics Comedy Seller clanger of the day so far from the second gamer in Hutchins. Just succumb to the pressure applied by Glenelg there. As we see Backwell coming to the centre of the ground, he's got the soft drink, and Sundquist. Sundquist kicks up towards peppering the goals, but he's off target and through for a minor score.
Yeah, just you're going to find that sort of stuff with the young kids now and again, and they are playing a few youngsters there. Hutchins, Proud. A lot of these players have only played about a dozen or so games for West Adelaide, and that's going to be Wayne Wiedemann's plan for the remainder of the season. He's going to play the kids, and as he said in his own words, find out who wants to be at the club next year. As Alex Hutchins has indicated, he wants to be one of those by putting the ball straight onto the chest of Ross Glover from the fullback kick out. Glover comes out there from Harbuck and finds Ben Haynes once again there. Haynes everywhere. As so far, it's a very risky kick across the ground, and he's paid the ultimate price there for it. Very poor work there from Ben Haynes. He had an opportunity to go further down the lines there. Now, I just saw that there. He had a try at tripping Brett Backwell. Interesting work. And coming in and having a few words is the Glenelg player in Matt Doldig, but that doesn't detract from the main attraction. Glenelg are going to be lining up, having a shot at goal here through Richard Douglas by the looks of it. Can't quite pick that one up there. It is
Matt Graham.
It's Matt Graham, actually. Thank you, Chris. So Matt Graham, the second gamer, lining up here for, again, what will be his second goal in league company. He's had one shot already this quarter. Distance won't be a problem for him. He's lining up from about 27 metres out. Good kick there, Matt Graham. That's his first, and Glenelg move on to 7-6-48, resting the lead back there from West Adelaide, 7-4-46. Nice work there from Graham. He's showing a bit for Glenelg, Chris.
Yeah, it's just a poor kick from Ben Haynes, but obviously Matt Graham still applying the pressure as the forward should be. Mark Ruwalt's been getting down there and getting in the face of his opponents as well. So both teams working hard in the forward line, but Glenelg on that occasion kicking the goal.
Certainly a high standard game here at the Glenelg Oval, Damien.
Yes, certainly is. But a couple of mistakes by West Adelaide have got Glenelg back in this contest, or in front in this contest. As Illman in the ruck, working hard there for the West Adelaide side, but it falls into the hands of the opponents of Glenelg and McConnell and Backwell. Backwell chips through the middle, but Illman puts a hand on it and smothers the kick, and the player receiving a high tackle there for West Adelaide will receive a free. That's if his head's still on. Kirk A just remonstrating. It's looked to be the prize in Archibald. Kinks comes out towards centre wing, and we've got Glover. And a bit of rough stuff happening. Players getting roughed up, and I think actually, yes, it was as he kicked. So I think it was again Graham there executing a bit of pressure, and caused the error. So we'll have a boundary throw in centre wing position right in front of the interchange gate here. We've played nearly 20 minutes of this second term, and it's Glenelg by 2 points. Just waiting on the boundary umpire now. Kirk and Illman in the ruck. Certainly Kirk's improved the rucks for Glenelg this quarter. Comes out toward Piasani. He wasn't able to take the ball cleanly, and a stoppage will take place not far from the centre square. And crowd, not a bad sized crowd here on this fine day here at Glenelg today.
Ruck's going at it there. Daniel Kirk just gets his hand to it and sends the ball down in the Brett Backwell direction there, but good work from West Adelaide. They've got a chance to relieve the pressure here through Ben Hollins, I should say, by the looks of it. He sends the ball over there towards Christian Vanderloo, about 55 metres out from the West Adelaide goal, puts the ball deep into the forward lines there, but the only player stepping in and taking that there was the Glenelg defender. And Ryan Willits is going to relieve the pressure there. John Hinge, of course, the Crows listed player. Try and pick the Crows players out here. Great mark there by Brett Backwell, a one-hander taken there. Now they are going to, no, it's touched. Oh, no, he said touched, and
yes.
Now he's going to go and call the mark by the looks of it. So do we have a decision? Yes, it's going to be a ball up there. Take your time making the decision there, the men in white.
Is that Ben Duff?
That was Ben Duff once again here. Duffman is going to be
probably just said go and get the football.
Bounces the ball into the turf there. Two-handed tap there. Flung off the ball there was the West Adelaide player by Brett Backwell. So David Piacenti, the most experienced player in the West Adelaide lineup with 78 games to his credit, and the captain. A great example there for his younger teammates, David Piacenti. And he's going to be looking to send them deep into attack once again. Coming out in the lead here is Ben Haynes, but cutting it off nicely there is the Glenelg player Ian Richard Douglas. Haynes is good enough to recover, however, and he puts the ball towards the chest once again of David Piacenti. So we have an opportunity here for Piacenti to right his previous wrong, 65 metres out from goal. At the Bay Oval here, we see the Bays are leading by 2 points. Piacenti puts the ball deep into attack. He's looking for Scott Welsh. Scott Welsh is being held off the ball there slightly. Glenelg have got the numbers in the back here through David Mitchell, and he elects to rush the ball through for a minor score. West Adelaide 7-5-47, trailing the Bays 7-6-48. They've run the ball straight back out from full-back here. David Mitchell wasting no time with the new kick-in rules. He puts the ball down the lines there. The only player he's managed to find, unfortunately, is West Adelaide's Ryan O'Sullivan. Look at this big fella. He has really improved after a stagnant first half of the season. O'Sullivan sends the ball deep back into attack here, and he finds Luke Jericho there all on his own. Jericho runs around and has spotted Christian Vanderloo further up the ground. If he can mark it, they're going to be away. Good pressure applied there by Justin McConnell. He's being held there, Vanderloo, if anything else. That really was a free kick, I thought, to Vanderloo, and I don't blame him whatsoever for protesting to the umpire. Justin McConnell there, slightly underhanded tactics, but he has managed to win a boundary throw in 30 metres around from the West Adelaide goal. Yeah,
probably umpire caught on the blind side there, and I wasn't able to see. Probably well done there by McConnell, the holding. He got away with it. A boundary throw in. Ball going nowhere at the moment. Plenty of players around the football, and the umpire has no choice but to ball it up. Probably about 40 metres out from West Adelaide's goal. They're dearly like a 8th goal before the half-time break. Chance for Paul Pleasure. Quick snap around the corner. He's looking for a forward in Slattery, but ball's knocked away from him. Comes out towards Mitchell of Glenelg now in the full-back position. Now elects to come grandstand side. West Adelaide with numbers there and good body work. Oh, and a pretty rough stuff. And I reckon, umpire, you've got to give that fella 25. A knee in the face. Not very good team play.
No, but very courageous from young Daniel Proud there, the inexperienced Bloods youngster. Now this next kick is going to be the critical one. Glenelg are flooding numbers back. He's got a man on a lead there, but it's going to go over his head and land straight into the arms of Paul Sherwood there. Forrest Sherwood, the experienced defender for the Bays. He elects to go further around the lines there. He runs through his opposition goal square and puts the ball on towards the outer side there. He's looking for a man in. Took one of the marks of the season. But Brett Backwell there, the luminous boots are running along the wing there for the Glenelg Oval, and he finds a man there for Glenelg, and they let him play further down the lines once again here. Ryan Willits handballs the ball off back to Brett Backwell. Brett Backwell sends it deep into attack here for the Bays, and the ball's spilling over the back here. Glenelg have got the ascendancy if they can find a man clear. He sends the ball out to a teammate here, snapping it over his shoulder, Richard Douglas. Ball is drifting in towards the goals, but on the wrong side of the post there, and Glenelg gets a minor score there. 7-7-49, West Adelaide 7-5-47. Great second efforts here from Brett Backwell.
Yes, certainly is. He's certainly probably been the best man on the ground so far to date. Certainly got Glenelg back in this game and leading in this second quarter. The ball comes out, and it's a nice mark taken by Buckley. He took one step forward but didn't deviate off the mark, and here he's allowed to go back and take the kick. Kicks up towards the centre wing position. He's got Jericho there. A couple of other Crows listed players in Hinge at the back, and the pack is
they're away.
Vanderloo, and Hollins is away for West Adelaide now. There's a one-on-one contest right in front of the square. Haynes has got his hands full, but Slattery there sharking the ball well, and well.
That was classy work from Slattery. Otherwise,
great work.
That'd have been on for quite a long time.
Certainly, he's been reading the ball very well today. As we see the ball come out to the outer side of the ground, Backwell again with another possession, comes out towards
Kirk.
Yep, Kirk A kicks in the forward line for the Bays. A chance now for the captain and Mules. That's a steady and kick and goals. And unfortunately there, a one point to West Adelaide results in a goal to Glenelg. And Glenelg go out to 8-7-55, leading West 7-6-48. Chris.
Yeah, good opportunist goal there from the skipper. He doesn't get down that end of the ground too often, but when he does, he usually does have an impact. Well read off the pack, and another goal to Glenelg.
Yes, so unfortunately, probably a two-goal turnaround in a way, but certainly it was just centimetres in it at the other end for West Adelaide. Good bit of work there by Slattery, but unfortunately the luck was with Glenelg on that occasion. As the ball comes back in the middle and umpire Doddridge just elects to go to throw it up. Chance for Porplesia. Comes out towards Mules. Mules taps it back in. Porplesia in fighting hard to get the football out for West Adelaide, but umpire's no choice because he's been wrapped up and will have another ball up in the middle of the ground.
And Scott Bricknell's moved into the centre now for West Adelaide. Good experience here. He's being held there, the West Adelaide ruckman and Matt Illman. Umpire elects to call advantage, and David Piacenti runs in and puts it in towards the Ben Haynes direction. Haynes has just nudged out of the ball there. Ben Hollins comes in and lends some support there, but Paul Sherwood, cool as ever under pressure there, the experienced defender, hands the ball off to David Mitchell. Mitchell takes a bounce and plays down the outer side of the Glenelg oval. He puts it out for a teammate. Only manages to find a West Adelaide player in Donaldson. He handballs the ball further afield there to a player in Charles Slattery. The ball goes deep into attack once again here for West Adelaide. So Jericho has the front position there. Crumbs one down the front of the pack there from West Adelaide. That's bouncing through. It's a goal! Fantastic work there from the West Adelaide team. That looked like it might have been Ryan O'Sullivan. Just couldn't quite pick that one up there, but really good snap taken there by the West Adelaide player. In fact, it was Ryan O'Sullivan, and Chris, agile work there from the big fella.
Yeah, no, it was an excellent goal. He picked it up and he scooted, turned around, and the ball just bounced through. Fortunately for Glenelg, no defenders there, but great goal, West Adelaide. They're back in this game.
Yeah, it was just such a quick transfer of play there by West Adelaide. You're right, they didn't have time to flood numbers back there, Glenelg. Ball went over the head of Luke Jericho, but good work once again from Charles Slattery. He really does impress with his efforts. The ball's back into the centre of the ground here. We've gone nearly 24 minutes on the Balfour's time clock. Ball is slammed into the turf once again by the umpire. Winning it though is Daniel Kirk there for Glenelg. Overrunning it slightly there is West Adelaide. Justin McConnell comes through to lend some support here for the Bays. Comes out in the direction here of Ben Moore, I should say, that was touched, and the ball goes further out of field there towards Brad Yeomans having his first run on the ground. He's got a teammate further down the field if he can get it, but it's bundled over the boundary line once again, and we're going to have a throw in here. West Adelaide trying to claim out of bounds on the full. You actually can't get out of bounds on the full if it's come off the hand there, so the ball is going to be thrown back in here by the boundary umpire. Comes back in towards the direction of Matt Illman and Daniel Kirk there, but winning the tap out there is Luke Donaldson. That's not a stat that he'd rack up too often. Scott Bricknell sends the ball further afield there towards Jason Porplesia. Has been very busy but cut off nicely there by Mark Ruwald. He elects to play the ball further down the lines, and he finds a man there in Brett Backwell. Hard to miss him with the luminous boots, 70 metres out from goal, but
out of bounds.
It's been out of bounds before that, and Backwell isn't protesting, so we're going to have a boundary thrown around 70 metres from the Glenelg goal.
Yeah, so getting to, I think the time clock stopped, has it? I don't know. But anyway, it seems pretty late in this quarter. Second quarter, it's Slattery now trying to get the ball out for West Adelaide. He's on his back and handballs out. Comes out towards Moore onto McConnell. McConnell now has got time and space and kicks, truly. Nice goal there to McConnell, his second. And Glenelg go out to a 7-point lead. They're leading 9-7-61. West Adelaide 8-6-54, Chris.
Yeah, Justin McConnell getting the ball off that pack. Third goal for the day, great effort. But Charles Slattery across the half back line there just couldn't quite get the ball over his hand. He seemed stuck in cement there for a minute, and Glenelg pounced and they kicked the goal.
Yeah, certainly. And the changes.
Brad Yeomans coming off there, and
yes.
Ty Allen coming on for the Bays. And Allen's going straight in towards the centre of the ground here as Glenelg open up a 7-point lead. I think the time clock is moving very slowly, but perhaps that's just old age for both you and I, Damien, as the ball is slammed back into the centre of the turf once again. Their good tap out there from Daniel Kirk. Justin McConnell just stumbling slightly there, and lending some support there is his Glenelg teammate. Ball comes back in at the Kirk direction once again. He tries to punch the ball further around. Probably could have taken it out of the air, really. Being held off the ball there is the Bays player. Justin McConnell weaving, dodging once again. And Frey had been paid, and advantage has also been paid. And the ball lands into the hands here of the Glenelg player. He sends the ball deep in towards attack there.
Graham.
That was Graham. Only manages to find a West Adelaide player here, but coming down and lending plenty of support here is Christian Vanderloo once again. He's looking for a teammate further down the field, but elects to play down the lines where he finds Alex Hutchins. Hutchins handballs off to a teammate who finds Luke Jericho on the chest right in front of the Glenelg stand. He puts the ball more towards the centre of the oval. They've got plenty of numbers running through now, West Adelaide. He puts the ball out towards the direction of Callum Buckley, the first gamer. Buckley was just worked under the ball there nicely. Mark Dragicevic, classy work here once again. Jericho puts on the skates and is away. He's got a bit of space to run in. He puts the ball towards his Crows teammate. It's a one-on-one contest here. Ben Haynes is lurking down the bottom of the pack there to lend some support. Keeps the ball in cleverly, but it just beats him and drifts over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw in. West Adelaide 8 goals, 6.54, trailing Glenelg 9-7-61 at 27 minutes gone, right in front of the notorious Snouts Louts.
Mount Lout, is it?
The Snouts Louts, the Glenelg supporter group.
Okay, all right. Ball comes back into play. O'Sullivan gets a knock out the back, comes towards Haynes. Haynes, a chance, gets his second goal and his 36th for this season. Great goal there by Ben Haynes, and West Adelaide get their 9th. So they're just trailing by, what's it now, 1 point.
That's it.
Chris.
Terrific goal by Ben Haynes. He just took it off, then slammed it on the left boot, slid it through for his second goal of the day, and in the seesawing affair, West Adelaide draw back to within 1 point.
It certainly is.
Ruck change here. Trevor Cranston coming on for this last couple of minutes to relieve the work of Daniel Kirk. So a real seesawing affair here at the Bay Oval. West Adelaide only trailing by 1 point after getting humiliated against Sturt last week. Ball goes back into the centre of the oval there. Good ruck take out here from West Adelaide. They've got the numbers running through. Been caught very nicely there by. He tried to beat the man there, did Scott Bricknell, but he has been paid the free, so Bricknell has a chance to send them deep into attack there. Slung off the ball hard at the back there was Ben Haynes by Bryce Gibbs. We haven't called Bryce Gibbs at all so far today. So he's got the job now on Ben Haynes. In fact, it goes in the Haynes direction here. Goes just over his head there. Good punch there from the aforementioned Gibbs. And he manages to get some support there with Richard Douglas. But he only manages to put the ball straight onto the chest there of Jason Paul-Please, your Crows teammate to Crows teammate. And now Scott Bricknell breaks up the AFL connection and takes the mark almost in the centre of the Glenelg Oval. He's watching and waiting for a gap to open there. Starting the lead there is Scott Welsh, but he ignores it. Bricknell decides to handball off, and the Bays are going to go deep into attack there. Great smother there on Daniel Proud, and Glenelg have got the chance here to really run some numbers out. Brett Backwell's found plenty of space out in the wing there. He's got time to take a bounce if he wishes to. He puts the ball out towards the direction there of Matt Graham once again here. He's about 70 metres around from goal. Graham wastes no time, spins on a threepenny bit and puts the ball deep in towards the Glenelg forward line. Players fell all around like nine pins. The only player who didn't was Aaron Rogers, and he's going to have a chance to line up for his second goal, Damien.
Yeah, well, West Adelaide were caught on the back foot there. Unfortunately, players running through to receive the handball, and the kick, unfortunately, didn't reach the top of the goal square, and immediately Glenelg rebounded with the football and immediately had players free and were able to run the ball into their forward line.
So, lining up for it now is Rogers. About 20 metres out, almost directly in front. Kicks on its way, straight over the goal umpire's head. That is Rogers' second. So the Bays move on to 10 goals, 7.67, leading West Adelaide 9 goals, 6.60. And great rebound football there from the Glenelg. Chris, they had plenty of numbers out in the wing.
Yeah, look, it was a terrific counter-attack from Glenelg. They moved the ball very quickly, and West Adelaide just aren't able to sustain that type of pace. Again, it was Brett Backwell out in the wing. Got it down to Matt Graham, who got it through to Rogers for his second goal.
So back in the middle here, can't be too much left in this second term. 7 points Glenelg are up by. They wish to extend that if they have the time. West Adelaide wish to creep it back. Back in the middle, and O'Sullivan in the ruck for West Adelaide, giving Illman a spell. And unfortunately from that contest, we'll have another ball up. So umpire bounces the ball again. Good day for bouncing, nice firm ground. Comes out towards Donaldson. He's unable to get the football. Out there for West Adelaide is Bricknell. Throws it, tackles a Glenelg player, but the ball's going nowhere. It seems to be plenty of players around the football. McConnell somehow comes out with the football, kicks around the corner. He's got Graham free. Graham's just running forward, kicks towards the forwards for Glenelg, but at the back there is Jakes. Jakes gets a handball over to Greiger. His teammate now let the kick out of defence. West Adelaide with numbers now. Vanderloo kicks up towards centre wing, and there's a player in, yes, Lee Harvey Oswald, taken at centre wing position for West Adelaide. Now he wants to get the football on moving quickly before...
Taking too long.
Yeah, before the Glenelg have chance to get players back. Sundquist is in the best position, the ex-Sydney Swans player. Read that nicely, and handballs across to the punter in Mitchell.
Yes, sorry.
Mitchell now relieving for Glenelg. As this... That's quite a long siren. Second quarter siren sounds here at Glenelg Oval, with Glenelg leading 10-7-67 to West Adelaide 9-6-60. We'll be back very shortly with the second half of this game.
Played 9 goals, 660. And fellas, we're set for a cracking second half of football.
Well, let's hope it's going to be a cracking second half of football. Certainly good passages from both sides. West Adelaide dominated that first term. The Crows forward in Scott Welsh leading the way with a couple of goals. Then Glenelg responded in that second term. Brett Backwell, certainly the dominant player on the ground at the moment, got Glenelg probably off his own back into this game and in the lead at half time. So yeah, let's see what transpires in the second half. We just had both teams doing a bit of extra drills. We had the umpires bouncing the ball. Everyone's practicing. It was like training night Thursday night at half time here.
Fellas, a quick tip in one word. Who's going to win from this point, Damien?
West Adelaide for mine.
Chris?
I'll stick with Glenelg.
I think I'll stay with the Bays too, just like the way they're using the ball at the moment. West Adelaide still getting their hands on it plenty of the time, but just struggling to hit the targets at all times. But the stage is now set for a big third term here. This game will have very big ramifications for the Glenelg Football Club, because as we can see across town there, Nord are only 1 goal down against Central Districts, battling out for 5th spot. Ball goes into the turf there once again. It goes to the advantage there of the Glenelg ruckman in Cranston. He wins the ball down and gets the tap back himself. Agile work by the big fella. He puts the ball deep into attack here for the Glenelg. They've got numbers at the back of the pack there if they can get the clear possession there. The Archibald just bundled off the ball there. Richard Douglas bursting through, kicks on its way, and that's a great start there for the Bays. Richard Douglas getting his first goal for the day, and the Adelaide Crows listed play within inside the first 30 seconds move the Bays on to 11-7-73. West Adelaide 9 goals, 660. The ideal start there, Chris.
Yeah, great start by Glenelg. Trevor Cranston just dominating out of that ruck contest there, just took it himself, went down the ground. Matt Graney with excellent pressure in the forward line, and then Richard Douglas finishing off with the class that we know he's got.
Yeah, so Douglas, one of 5 Crows players out there this afternoon. It's certainly looking like the Crows reserves here, and we've got most of the Crows colours out in the ground too. Back in the middle, chance for poor Pleasure. He's pulled off the football, but umpire lets it go. There he is again. Backwell gets a high tackle, but umpire said no, not high enough. West Adelaide go into attack looking for Haynes. Chance to recover now. It goes one way, then the other. Now he's got a teammate out wide. It appears to be Hollands, and Hollands has taken a chest mark and fancies himself about 40 metres out from goal.
Yeah, bend to bend there, and so chance for a quick reply here for West Adelaide for Ben Hollands. Let's just have a brief look at his stats so far on the game. Hollands has had 11 possessions so far. Leading possession getter at the moment for the Bloods is Jason Pourpleasure on 21, head of Christian Vanderloo on 14. Kicks on its way from Hollands. Distance not a problem there. Accuracy isn't a problem either. That has gone straight over the goal umpire's hat. So Hollands gets his first goal for the day. Quick reply there from West Adelaide. They move on to 10-6-66. Trailing Glenelg 11-7-73. Lightning fast reply there from the Bloods, Chris.
Yeah, they just won't go away at the moment. They're just right in this contest. Excellent play across the half-forward line there by Ben Haynes. Just dodged and weaved and finally got the ball to Ben Hollands, who was open.
So we're just waiting on the umpire now. Is that umpire Bowen?
Let's have a look there. I think
Craig Bowen?
That is Bowen at the moment.
Okay,
there.
so Bowen in the middle bounces the ball and it goes up high, and Cranston gets the knock for Glenelg, but they're unable to take the football away. West Adelaide through Pourpleasure now will go back into attack out towards Jericho. Jericho now was going to go back on the mark, but waste no time. Found he was closer to goal than what he thought. Kicks in the forward line. Welsh has taken a mark in amongst a few players there, and Scott Welsh should go back and get his third.
It will be his third. And ladies and gentlemen, you haven't inadvertently bought a Crows DVD with Pourpleasure off to Jericho and Welsh.
Yes, how about that? Well, that's the combination which may win this game. And that's what, I don't know why Thornton had them out at 450. But anyway, Scott Welsh makes no mistake and puts West Adelaide's 11th goal on the board. They go to 11-6-72, trailing the Bays here at Bayland, 11-7-73. Chris?
Great mark by Scott Welsh. I didn't actually think he would get anywhere near that contest, but he made it his own. And West Adelaide combining with all their stars, so could be West Adelaide just getting off to a good start this quarter with their second goal.
Ball comes back into the centre of the ground there. Yes, you mentioned there West Adelaide at $4.50.
Glenelg $1.12.
Well, you'd be having heart palpitations at the moment if you put any of your hard earned on $1.12. If you put anything on at $4.50, you'd be getting a great run for your money. We'd love to meet someone in the ground who had. Ball's about to go into the centre of the turf once again. And tap is one out there by Trevor Cranston. Only goes down as far as Mark Dragicevic, who goes back in and recovers very nicely there. Gets the handball off to Jason Paul-Pleasure. That's his 23rd touch for the day. Ball goes up towards centre half forward. Good, strong mark taken there by Luke Jericho. He's starting to get right away now. He's 60 metres out from goal, puts the ball in the direction of Scott Welsh. Welsh comes out, couldn't quite get his hands on it. Ryan Willits reads the crumbs there very nicely. He handballs off there to the luminous boots in Brett Backwell, who passes the ball down the line once again to John Hinch. They're out of trouble now, the Bays. He sends the ball up towards the half-forward line there. Ball bounces over the back here there. Glenelg have got some numbers there if they can get it, but West Adelaide sweeping the ball through beautifully. Ball goes into the centre there. It just bounces awkwardly there for Dragicevic. Couldn't quite get his hands on it. Jeremy Jakes lends a bit of support there, and Dragicevic has ridden into the turf, possibly a push in the back. Umpire calls it correctly there. The Bays fans are baying for blood, no reason why. It was a perfectly legal push in the back there, but the turnover has been affected here by the Bays. Now they've got a chance to try and recover from that bad decision there. Trevor Cranston sends the ball in towards the forward line there, kicks on its way from Richard Douglas, snaps over the shoulder. It's a goal there for Douglas. That's his second goal inside the first 5 minutes of this quarter, and now Glenelg move on to 12-7-79. West Adelaide 11-6-72. Sloppy work there by the Bays from the free kick, Chris.
That was very sloppy work. They just pushed the ball forward, as all good teams do, but Richard Douglas fortunately able to get on the end of it, but not the prettiest goal we've seen today, no.
Certainly, it looks like he's got a bit of talent though, Richard Douglas, and may not be too far away from a debut. But though it's a very tough side to get into, and we've got 5 players. He's one of 5 players out this afternoon here, looking to get a spot back in the Crows team as we wait on umpire Dudridge to throw up in the centre of the ground. Cranston gets the knockout but doesn't find Mules, and Paul Pelicius cuts it off. He's racking up the possession. Haynes comes out but is unable to complete the mark. Glenelg relieve the pressure and comes out to that player again, and Douglas. Douglas gets a handball back to Backwell. Backwell now sizes his option. He's got Rogers on the half-forward line. He's backed up by the captain and Mules. Mules over towards Allen, I think it is, in these coming through the corridor. Kick up to the full forward line, and Glenelg player has taken the mark. Very nice mark, contested mark in amongst the other opposition players there, and is it Kirkby?
Kirkby?
Yep, Kirkby.
Rory Kirkby, currently the only Rory playing in the SANFL for the statistically minded. So Kirkby lining up from about 25 metres out. Won't be any trouble at all with the distance. Neither is the accuracy, and that's another goal there for the Bays. It's been a very high scoring start in this quarter. They move on to 13 goals, 785. Leading West 11-6-72. We've only gone 6 minutes so far in this third quarter, and to this point, Chris, we've already had 4 goals kicked.
Yeah, seesawing affair still. It's just a replay of the first half again, but excellent mark by Rory Kirkby, not recognised for his body work, but able to get on the end of that one and put the goal through for Glenelg. Excellent work in the middle.
Yeah, so a 7-point margin again. It seems to be going back out as soon as West Adelaide creep forward. Glenelg move it away again. So, but they need to get. Hang on, oh, it's a 13-point margin. Sorry. So Glenelg have actually extended that lead up to 13 points. Just waiting on the umpire now. Back in the middle, Cranston up against Illman in the ruck, and
that's going to be recalled.
Yep.
We had Shane Harris on insight the other night. The guideline to this one, fellas, if it bounces outside the big circle, it must be recalled.
Right, okay, because it obviously favoured Illman there. So umpire looks around, says, I'll throw it up. Okay, and Illman gets a high leap in there, but it only goes as far as Mules. Mules was unable to take away the football. A handball over the top there by a Glenelg player. It sends him, and a kick sends him deep into the forward line. A chance now for Slattery for West Adelaide to get them out of trouble. Handball over to Jakes, too hot for him. So Donaldson trying to weave, turned back into trouble. Umpire said play on, comes out towards Moore. He's tackled, kicks high and under high up and under, and we don't want any rain today as the ball comes out towards the boundary line and on play, and well, an odd decision there by the umpire. I would have thought that would be
a bad decision outright, actually, because prior opportunity deems that if you had a chance to get rid of it, it's holding the ball. He had 3 opportunities, kept trying to beat them. Wrong decision there by the umpire. That one we looked at, no doubt, by the aforementioned Shane Harris on Monday night. Coming over the top, then winning it is Cranston, sends it back in towards the centre of the scoring zone. Justin McConnell's ridden into the ground, and he's going to get the free. So McConnell will be lining up for his 4th goal. And I reckon this might be among his highest goal tally for the year so far, Justin McConnell. He's lining up for number 4 there. So, coming in from about 35 metres out, the long-sleeved McConnell, currently vying for best on ground duties, probably with Jason Porpleasure. Kicks on its way now. Distance not a problem. Nothing much wrong with the accuracy either as the kids come out the back to take a screamer over the back of the fence. That's McConnell's 4th, and Glenelg move on to 14-7-91. West Adelaide 11-6-72. Chris, in the first game this season, he played a bit of a roll up forward. He does play up there occasionally and has been very good at it so far.
Yes, he has. He's not the quickest player going around, but he's just wily, very slippery. It's now his 2nd 4-goal haul in 2 weeks. Last week against South Adelaide, he kicked 4 goals too. But terrific ruck work there in the forward line by Trevor Cranston to push that ball forward.
So umpire Doddridge now with the football in the centre of the ground. Doesn't worry about bouncing. Throws it up, goes towards Cranston. Gets the knockout towards Mills, but Dragicevic there has his kick smothered in the meantime. Kick off the ground by Porpleasure and deemed to be in danger, and Glenelg wanted to take advantage, but the ball's going to have to come back in the centre of the ground.
So Glenelg here getting the chance to set up another scoring opportunity. So far they have 6 goals already this quarter. He's found a man all by himself out there in John Hinge. Now he handballs off to Ryan Willetts, one AFL player to the next. Puts the ball over this great mark taken over the back there by Jeremy Jakes there, the big man. We haven't called him very often today, but that's been a classy bit of play there. And he puts the ball further over into the direction of, looks like to be David Piacenti. So Piacenti here assessing his options. Next kick's going to be critical now. He needs to try and break free of the scoring zone here for the Bays. He sends the ball right in front of us here at the card table for C31 and Pine Lodge. Good mark, almost taken at the front of the pack there, but couldn't quite drag it in. Ryan Willett scoops the ball back in. Umpire crosses himself in the biblical sense, comes in and says, I'll have it. And we're going to have a ball up right in front of us here on the aforementioned card table. Glenelg 14-7-91, leading West Adelaide 11-6-72.
8 minutes gone, 3rd term. Glenelg now sensing they've got a chance to take away this win today here. And kick up to the forward line, and another mark inside the forward line for the Bays, and it's Doldig. And certainly, well, the West Adelaide defenders have got their hands full, Jakes and Piacenti. And, well, Glenelg probably have a few tall options up there in Doldig, Kirkby and
Rogers,
yes. So West Adelaide with their hands full. Maybe a couple of moves need to be made as we wait on Matthew Doldig now to come in. And kicks, and a very sloppy kick, but it goes through, and it makes you wonder why wasn't there. It's a 3rd to Doldig, and I don't know, if there had been a West Adelaide player following the line of that football, Chris, he may have marked it.
Yes, no, not the best looking kick we've seen today, but effective. No one in the goal line for West Adelaide, which could be costly, but Matt Doldig with a strong mark, and Glenelg now just starting to stretch away. So West Adelaide need to try and get themselves back into this contest.
So the gauntlet's now been thrown down now. Matt Illman is opposed to Travis Cranston. This next 10 minutes is going to be vital for the West Adelaide Football Club if they're to get back into this contest. We see Ben Hollands has moved in the middle now opposed to Thailand. Perfect bounce this time. Ball is slightly one down in the Illman direction there. He goes back in and butters up, but coming through and winning it nicely there is the sparkling Sunkist. He sends the ball out into the direction there of Aaron Rogers. Good work there. He's got the ball on a string, Rogers. Quick's a little bit sloppy, however, but his teammate was good enough to pick it up there. Coming out meeting once again is Allen. He handballs back in towards the Sunquist direction. It comes out about 30 metres out from the Glenelg goal. McConnell couldn't quite take it there. Umpire was calling play on there. A number of the crowd was calling for a free. Umpire did not agree with the crowd. They often don't in these home games. And we see we're going to have a ball up now about 30 metres out from the Glenelg goal. Glenelg have a 25-point lead going 8 minutes into this quarter. Ball comes over the top there and Cranston wins the ruck knockout. Only goes as far down there as the West Adelaide player who is taken high. And so we're going to have the relieving free kick taken here by Ben Haynes, who has moved into an on-ball position. He sends the ball further down the line here and meets a man in the centre of the ground here. It's Charles Slattery. He's been a little bit quiet fight there after quarter time, but he puts the ball beautifully onto the chest there of Luke Jericho, playing quite a long way up the ground there. He's about 80 metres out from goal, and he's looking for Scott Welsh. Scott Welsh makes the lead there, doubles back in and starts the lead again, and then goes out and makes a third lead. He ignores all of them though, Jericho, and he puts the ball further down the lines there and has a good mark taken out there by Jason Portpleasure. That's about possession number 25 so far, and we're only 10 minutes into this third quarter. Portpleasure now looking to try and find a bit of space here for a teammate to move into to create that lead there. He's taking his time. The more time he takes, the more options it gives there. Glenelg to flood numbers back there, but breaking the lines beautifully there for the West Adelaide is Ross Glover, and he decides to play on there. Nobody on the mark there for the Bays. Very fortunate for the Bays that it was a miss there, but that could have been disastrous there, and a bit of loose checking there by the Bays.
Absolutely, yes. Glover there, unfortunately, probably maybe rushed the kick in the process, but yes, 4 goals the margin now, and even 24 points as we wait on Mitchell now to bring the ball back in for Glenelg. Free kicks to half-time was 12-11 in favour of Glenelg. That's a thumping kick, and a great kick by Mitchell, finding Gibbs in the centre of the ground. He's backed up by a teammate. Now Glenelg coming through into the half-forward line, but Donaldson has other ideas. Gets a handball onto Greiger. Greiger now out to the outer side. He's got Hollands free. Hollands now was going to go to the centre wing. Yes, thought about it and goes out wide Glover. There to Glover. Glover comes inboard. He's got a couple of teammates there. One O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan back to Hollands. Hollands now into the forward line, setting up Jericho. Unable to complete the mark, and Ben Mules for the Glenelg side. The captain of the Bays has got McConnell. There he is again. He's got a vacant. He must own this land here at Glenelg, because no one seems to be stepping on it. He comes in towards Backwell. Backwell kicks around the corner, looking for the tall timber up forward. Dumped away. A chance for Graham there for Glenelg, but West Adelaide stand firm in defence and comes out towards Proud. And Proud's again, that's a second kick of his that's been smothered in this game. Comes out to the captain and Piersanti. Piersanti hasn't got much time. Gone to Gleiger. Right, quick. By Piersanti only goes as far as Yeomans. Yeomans now over to Moore. Moore takes on about 3 or 4 players, and unfortunately, Illman, being the taller man, grabbed him high, and he's given away 25 as well for, I suppose, a bit of urban.
I'm not certain there was so much of that, Dave. I mean, he did just crib slightly over the mark there, because, and this is getting very technical, he did shift about half an inch over the mark. So Ben Moore is going to take the option here to put the Bays at 32 points clear, and you would sense that if that goes through, the carpenter may start sharpening up the nails and the hammer for the remainder of the coffin. So Moore lining up now. Distance certainly won't be a trouble for him. He's going to end up kicking from about 28 metres out, and to make it exact for any of those who are measuring on the monitors. Kicks on its way. Drop punt's perfect there, and Ben Moore kicks his first, and the Bays build that lead now 16-7, 103. That's start again, 16-7, 103, leading West Adelaide by an even 5 goals, 11-7, 73, Chris.
Yeah, good finish by the former skipper and Ben Moore, but what about the pressure around the ball by Glenelg? Justin McConnell with a smother in the forward pocket. Matt Graham just sticking to his man like glue, but Glenelg just running away with this now. West Adelaide just letting themselves down with some poor decision-making in the defensive 50.
Yes, they certainly are, and yes, that's probably been the key word in this second half, pressure. Glenelg have certainly they put the foot on the accelerator in that second term, and now they're just running away with it with that extra pressure around the ball carrier. Okay, back in the middle. Now, a chance for Glenelg, but it's a quick handball by Haynes on towards Slattery. Slattery's got it forward in Welsh. He's got 2 to beat, and he beats them convincingly. No, sorry, it's actually the young player in Buckley. He did that very well. He's got the blonde tips as well. Took on 2 opponents and did it nicely. So he's got the chance to get his first.
This will be his first in the league company.
Yep. So let's see if the occasion gets the better of him. Lining up for his first shot at goal in league footy. No, it doesn't. His father, Jimmy, would be proud of that, as young Buckley gets his first goal for West Adelaide, and they're 12th, and they're trailing by 24 points, Chris.
Fantastic mark down the forward line there by Caleb Buckley. 2 players on him. He didn't look like he was going to come in, but just flew in, went up at the right time and took the mark, and more importantly, finished it off for a very important goal for West Adelaide.
So the ball's back into the centre of the Glenelg Oval now. 24 points down West Adelaide, and we've just gone 17 minutes in. Matthew Illman opposed to Trevor Cranston in the ruck here. We haven't seen much of Daniel Kirk this quarter. That's a bit of an interesting move there by coach Mark Micken. Ball is thrown up into the air on this occasion. Come out and won there by the player in Illman, and a free kick's going to be going. And it's going to be going to the way of Brad Yeomans there. And as I mentioned, that Daniel Kirk actually is in the centre of the ground there. Chris, get yourself a new pair of glasses. Ball comes out of the back towards the player in the Glenelg man. Coming out and meeting it though is Daniel Kirk there. Kirk and Kirk, this will be an interesting bit of play to call. Comes out in the direction here of the youngster. And it was won out nicely there by Charles Slattery, who finds Mark Dragosevic there. Dragosevic spun his way back into trouble. He could almost get called for holding the ball there. And it has been done, yes. You can't U-turn back into trouble and expect to get away with it. So things are starting to fall a little bit off the wagon now for West Adelaide, going back into their old ways. Matt Illman's protesting incessantly, but fellas, as we all know, we've never once seen an umpire say, yes, you're right, we'll change that. So lining up for it will be the Glenelg player in Aaron Rogers, and this will be his third goal if he's able to nail it, Damien.
Yeah, certainly. Glenelg, a lot of pressure in front of goal. They're not letting that ball come out cleanly for West Adelaide. Every time West Adelaide go near the football, they've got about 3 or 4 Glenelg players to beat, and the pressure is just getting the better of them. Glenelg with a shot at goal as Rogers kicks, looks to be a straight. Makes the distance all right, but gets the minor score, so probably been the first behind we've seen for a while. And Glenelg move out to 16-8. Ball comes out towards Haynes. Comes out to heads out towards the other side of the ground, and Paul Pleasure there gets a handball over the top towards Donaldson. He's created a loose man now. Kick up towards the centre wing position. Chance for the West Adelaide player in Jakes there, but unable to complete it. But Piasandi, the captain of the West Adelaide side, is trying to show an example. Takes a couple of bounces, trying to take on a couple of teammates. Might get ran into trouble. And Glenelg will relieve once more. Handball out towards Kirkby. Kirkby on the centre wing position, looking for a forward option. He's got Graham at the back of the pack, but in the way is Hutchins for West Adelaide, the young player. And what's Hutchins going to do? Well, he's been told to play on because he crept over his mark, but he's got a player further up the field, and Jakes will take the mark on the outer side of the ground. West Adelaide need to get a move on in this third term.
Ball comes down the lines once again there. O'Sullivan wrestling with the player in Willits. Willits takes a very clever one-handed mark. Handballs straight off to a teammate there. He's going to be running through the other outer side there of the Glenelg oval. Puts the ball in the direction there of Matt Graham, who's got front position but couldn't quite hold the mark. Comes down there and it's won by Rory Kirkby once again. He sends the ball out towards a teammate there. They've got numbers here, however, West Adelaide, and now they're going to be running away with it through Jason Pourpleasure once again. He puts the ball in the direction of Scott Welsh, playing a long way up the ground there, about 90 metres around from the West Adelaide goal. He needs someone to really make the next option and make it very decisively. He puts the ball towards the centre of the ground there, where he finds Ben Holland standing by himself there. Probably still too far out to score. He's about 70 metres out. They need a tall timber to drop back into the hole now and try and make that big marking option. Ryan O'Sullivan would be ideal, and he's dropping back in to try and fill that number there. Scott Welsh makes a lead there once again, and that's a good mark taken there by the Adelaide Crows player. Cannot be far away from a recall, and the Crows charge for a premiership. He's going to be lining up. He'll eventually kick from about 55 metres out as we see a change coming on here for West Adelaide. Coming on is the player in Oswald. Coming off there is Ben Holland, somewhat unluckily. He's had a few touches this quarter. So Walsh is going to have a shot. No, he's passed off at the last minute there and finds Ross Glover. Glover, not ordinarily known as a goal kicker. He's kicked 32 goals in 61 games so far, so it's about 1 goal every 2 games.
Has he got one today?
He hasn't got one today, so it's a chance to maintain that average. He puts the ball in and finds Jason Pourpleasure. So, mucking around with it a little bit, West Adelaide, but it's good patient football. They're just waiting for the man to open up. And Glenelg perhaps not playing quite as tight as they should, so Pourpleasure's lining up for what will be his 3rd goal for the opportunist forward. Distance won't be worried.
Pretty similar to how the Sydney Swans play, waiting for the forward to keep moving and get closer to goal and get within distance, and it's paid dividends this time with Jason Pourpleasure getting his 3rd, and West Adelaide creep a little closer. I believe it's 13-7-85 to 16-8-104 Glenelg.
Well worked by West Adelaide, very patient play up in the forward line. I thought Scott Welsh probably could have made the distance. Didn't put Glover in an even better position, but Pourpleasure just seems to put everything into goal today. He's just having a fantastic day out. So excellent goal, West Adelaide. They've now kicked the last 2 and they're right back in this game.
Yeah, certainly. And we're approaching the 20-minute mark of this third term as we've got a bit of dim light here at the Glenelg Oval, and this bounce will be recalled as it goes outside of the circle. Illman with the distinct advantage there. And the umpire, yep, he's been told to throw it up.
The notorious Duff Man.
Yes, the Duff Man again. Okay, as Kirk A wins the ruck, but handballs out towards the Brinknell direction. But he wasn't equal to the task, and Glenelg through the other long sleeves player in McConnell. Kicks out towards the outer side of the ground. The player in Douglas, unable to complete the mark, but recovers well. Kicks up to the tall timber again, and it's Kirk B there for West Adelaide opposed to Hutchins, and Hutchins, the second gamer, has certainly got his hands full.
Yeah, so this will be Kirk B's second goal. He's presented a good, reliable target up forward there, the Bays youngster. Only 20 years of age, playing his 6th game. And this is an opportunity for his second, and that just will open the gap once again there for the Bays. Kicks on its way. It's drifting off towards the right, however, and that's one behind it. Children behind fight for the ball once again. It's a gripping contest going on behind the goals. Not half as gripping as the one going on in front of us, though. As Glenelg move on to 16 goals, 9, 105. West Adelaide 13, 785. As the Children finally end their little battle over the back and decide to hand it back here to the fullback, kicking in Alex Hutchins once again. So
West Adelaide went the huddle there. Now they're starting the spread.
Yeah, unfortunately they took far too long there, those kids, and that has negated the effect of the huddle there. Ball sent back out into the direction here of West Adelaide, coming out and handing it off there for the man is Daniel Proud. He comes in, and then Scott Bricknell lending a bit of support here. Look at this kid. Puts the ball over the top here towards the teammate in Jason Paul Pleasure. It bounces just in front of him there a bit awkwardly there, but he goes back in and lends support there. Bricknell, good work by the kid. Comes out once again, Jason Paul Pleasure, but bundling it over the boundary line once again, as we have now gone 21 minutes in on this quarter. West Adelaide only trailing by 20 points this stage, Damien. You wouldn't say the Bloods are completely out of it just yet.
No, not completely out of it, but just not. Glenelg definitely the more convincing side this term. Likely to take the points. As from the boundary throw-in comes out towards Bryce Gibbs. Bryce Gibbs gets it onto that potential punter in Mitchell. Comes out towards Backwell. Backwell had the ball thumped away from him. He leads in the race in the recovery. Handballs out. Player there tackled by Slattery. And another teammate in the prize, and Archibald lends a hand, but umpire says no. The player in Panazzo had no opportunity to get rid of the football, and I've got no choice, fellas, but to throw it up in the middle of this ground. Stand back, please, because I'm about to bounce it.
And he does bounce it, and it's not a bad one either. Matt Illman wins the tap down, and he manages to fend off Kirk in the process there. Coming through and being held, however, is the player in Kirk's. Matt Illman, no.
Yeah,
Make a decision. Which way is it going? Matt Illman. So Matt Illman's protestations have finally come true as he handballs off there towards Ben Haynes. He's been a little bit quiet there after quarter time. Haynes sends the ball out in the direction of Luke Jericho and hits him perfectly on the chest about 60 metres out from goal. Now this next kick's going to be crucial. Scott Welch makes a lead and leads beautifully into the hole there, almost on the chest of the young man there. Scott Bricknell comes out and lends a bit of support, but the ball is just bundled over the boundary line there. So we're going to have a throw-in right on the 50-metre arc. Glenelg leading by 20 points in this critical clash. They need to try and get these sorts of wins if they're going to make a rush for that 5th spot, because you would expect the top 4 are already set. Ball's about to come spiralling back into play once again here. John Hinge opposed to Luke Jericho. You wouldn't often call that as a ruck contest. Ball comes down here for the Glenelg player. Bundled off the ball nicely there. Bryce Gibbs lends a bit of support. Handballs off to the man in John Hinge. Sends the ball out towards open space here. It's going to be a real foot race here. Brett Backwell's leading the foot race at this stage. Tries to tap the ball back over his head. Boundary umpire's in a perfect position and calls it out of bounds. Charles Slattery thought he was going to get away with conning that one there, but no such luck for the West Adelaide player. So we're going to have a throw in about 70 metres around for the West Adelaide goal, Damien.
Yeah, 22 minutes gone on this third term. 20-point margin in favour of Glenelg, and they might hang on this game after all. Okay, comes out towards Backwell, but ran out of room in the end, and we'll have a repeat. So yeah, chance to look at some of the matches. We've got Jakes on Matthew Doldig in the forward line for Glenelg. It looks to be, who's that on? We'll just work that out who's on. Yes, it's Archibald on Kirkby now in the back pocket. So
Hutchins on Graham down here, both with the same amount of experience each, 2 games of football.
That's right. Well, that's a good way to go. Let the youngsters learn from each other, or compete with one another. That's what it's all about.
Very caring and sharing out here at the Bay.
Yes. So boundary throw in again. Now let's see if someone can run. Here he is, Haynes. Does it well off the back of the pack. That's not a bad shot at goal, but just over towards the the right, and West Adelaide get another minor score, so they move on to 13-8-86 as Glenelg wastes no time and kick out the football. But there's that man again. Haynes thumps the ball away, but Glenelg with numbers out there.
Panozzo.
Panozzo running away with the football now. Centre wing position. He's got the man in the centre of the ground here at the Bay in Douglas. Douglas sends the ball up forward looking for Rogers. Good spoil there by Greiger for West Adelaide. Comes out to Jakes, but in the meantime the umpire's picked out a free and it's going to Donaldson, and he'll rebound the football for West Adelaide. Deep in this back line and deep in this third term. West Adelaide probably would like another goal before the lemon break at three-quarter time. Comes out towards Buckley. A nice bit of play there. Gets it onto the captain, Piasanti. Piasanti's got a player in O'Sullivan now. O'Sullivan's got Welsh on a lead. Doesn't make that player. Welsh has to dive for the football. And he's got a chance to get his third or fourth.
This will be his fourth, don't you?
If he gets this, he should be within distance. He wasn't too confident when the player on the mark was on the 50-metre line, but probably about 50 metres out when he kicks. He should have a punt at this.
So Scott Welsh lining up. We are right behind this one now, so we'll get the first call on that one. Kicks on its way. He's tried to allow for a bit of wind that unfortunately isn't there, so it drifts through for a minor score. And that's Scott Welsh. That gives him 3 goals, 2 for the day. West Adelaide move on to 13 goals, 987. Glenelg 16-9, 105. And we have gone 26 minutes into this third quarter. David Mitchell is about to bring the ball back in as we've got another ruck change here. Coming on here is Trevor Cranston, and going off is Aaron Rogers as the ball is come out from the kick in and is bundled harmlessly over the boundary line. So we're going to have a throw in about 70 metres around from the West Adelaide goal. Coming in for the ruck knockout is Matthew Illman opposed to Daniel Kirk. That means that Trevor Cranston must be playing a role in defence in that case. Ball comes over the top here from Illman. He sends it out towards the chest here of Mark Dragicevic. Dragicevic has a shot from about 50 metres out. I tell you what, not bad at all there for the former Richmond player. Dragicevic, that is his first for the day. And they now move on to 14 goals, 993. Glenelg 16-9, 105, Chris. Slightly nervous signs, I would say, in the Glenelg coaching box. They've let the Bloods back in it.
Yes, I think so. Don't discount West, boys. They're right back in this game, but excellent goal by Dragicevic. Get him anywhere near the 50-metre arc, and he is going to put it through more times than not. A fantastic player for West Adelaide.
Actually, a good bit of work by the captain, Piasanti, getting that ball out of away from that stoppage there to set up Dragicevic for that shot at goal. Back in the middle now. Not too much more time left in this quarter. Comes out towards Mules, gets a quick handball onto Douglas. Douglas onto the left boot straight away, looking for Backwell, who's been shifted up to the forward line. Donaldson's now leading the race for the ball. Handball's out to himself, trying to play for a free kick there. The umpire says, no way, son. Comes out towards Backwell. Backwell gets tackled by Donaldson, and the ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in just outside the 50-metre arc for the Bays here at Glenelg Oval. This round 16 clash. Glenelg in 6th position, taking on West Adelaide in bottom position. West Adelaide looking for their second win of the season. Ball comes back into play. Doesn't go anywhere in particular, and the umpire has no option but to ball it up on the outer side of the ground there. Well, the Rucks will go at it again. Actually goes out towards Paul Pleasure and tries to get a kick away. Piasanti's, dealt with untidily. Nice handball by Pleasure. He's certainly racked up another 10 or 12 positions this quarter as he kicks around the corner of the centre wing. Beats a few players there now. Chance for West Adelaide and Oswald. Players need to be held, but umpire says weren't held long enough as Mitchell runs away with the football. Kicks into the forward line, and fortuitously for Glenelg, it lands in the arms of Kirk B, who's played a pretty good game up forward. Wastes no time. He's got McConnell leading in the race of the ball, and good play there by McConnell. Created the space in front and will kick after the siren and perhaps extend Glenelg's margin to 18 points at three-quarter time. They're presently leading 16-9 to 14-9. And a high-scoring quarter. That quarter, it was 10-7, 9-6 at half-time as we wait on McConnell. Kicks, truly. So 7 goals to Glenelg that quarter. 5 goals to West Adelaide, so a 12-goal quarter. And Glenelg are leading by 18 points. We'll be back very shortly with the final stanza.
Tell you what,
Rowe and Wayne Wiedemann to get off the ground. They were featured in this week's footy budget. With the retro 70s gear, I think Stephen Rowe had a handlebar moustache better than some of the village people, and Wayne Wiedemann had a blonde wig from looking like Starsky from Starsky or Hutch from Starsky and Hutch. Anyway, as he just waiting for all the spectators and officials to come off the ground, and the umpire holds the ball aloft, and the final quarter begins. Chris.
So critical time now for West Adelaide. Wayne Wiedemann thinks they're still in with a big chance to get the first couple of goals. It'll make things interesting. Tap one straight out there by Glenelg. Coming out the back here, they've got numbers here, the Bays, if they can meet it, and couldn't quite run onto it though. But now Mark Dragicevic runs through the lines, puts the ball in towards the attacking zone there a little bit sloppily. John Hinge punches the ball over the boundary line there, and we're going to have a throw in about 55 metres around from the Bays goal.
Who would you give the points to, Hinge or Jericho today?
Probably Hinge, to be honest. Jericho looked like he could have been very dominant early on, but he's just been slightly reeled in there by Hinge.
Ball comes back into play. Rucks go at it, comes toward Mules. He hasn't got any options but to kick. But West Adelaide have other ideas, and there's that man Haynes, turns one way, then the other, then sets up Jericho very nicely, and we're just talking about that pair. And Jericho, well, how many goals has Luke Jericho got this afternoon? He's just got the one. He is a big kicker of the football from memory. And, well, he seems relatively confident he can make the distance here. Let's hope he doesn't stray the kick in order to go for the distance. Hoping to get West Adelaide's 15th goal on the board early in this final quarter. He's not distracted by Ben Moore on the mark. That kick, well, it's obviously got the distance, but unfortunately hits the woodwork, and a minor score results, and Glenelg will relieve through Sherwood from the fullback position.
Ball coming out here now for the Bays. They've got plenty of chances with plenty of players out there, though. Charles Slattery is leading in the race for the ball. Bumps Brett Backwell off in a bit of a show of strength, and the ball just bundled just over the boundary line there, right in the centre of the wing area. So, ball's about to be thrown back in here as we hear that the battle for the Bryce Gibbs Cup's ended in a draw there. How prophetic. Ball comes in, then Trevor Cranston wins the ball down there to Brett Backwell. Ball heads in towards the direction here of the Glenelg forward line. Over the top there, though, they're going to be met very solidly here, the Bays players. Good tackle applied there on Allen by Charles Slattery, and we're going to have another throw-in about 60 metres around from the Bays goal, currently leading by 17 points. Ball comes back in there. Chance to winner is Mark Ruwald, I should say. Handballs the ball over in the direction there of Ben Moore. Ben Moore's got a chance here to have a shot. He's going to send the ball towards the top of the square, though. West Adelaide got the front position if they can get the ball down, but it is punched over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw in right next to the point post as Glenelg hold a 17-point lead here, 2 minutes into this last quarter, Damien.
Yes, West Adelaide really are the ones who need to be getting the first goal on the board in this final stanza. As the ball comes back into play, deep into Glenelg's forward line, a chance for that man McConnell. His chance to get his fifth.
That is number 6.
He's been potent around those goals today. And, yes, great snap there by McConnell.
Excellent goal by Justin McConnell. You cannot write this guy out of the game. Just when it looks like West Adelaide were coming back into his game, Justin McConnell steps up, reads the ball off the pack, puts on his left boot. Probably not looking too comfortable on his left boot, but he did the job and put the goal. Glenelg now move out to a 23-point lead.
Yes, well, it's always good if you can kick both feet in this game.
So the next 2 goals are going to be very interesting in this game.
Yes.
Might well decide which team has the ascendancy there, of course. Back into the middle of the Glenelg Oval, 3 minutes in. Glenelg with that 23-point lead there. Matt Illman wins the tap out there. Only goes down there as far as Mark Dragicevic there, who tries to bundle the ball out towards the back of the pack there towards a teammate. Having none of that though are the Bays, and running through with real class is Richard Douglas. Hands off to Brett Backwell there. Brett Backwell also manages to find a teammate further along there as the punter, David Mitchell, puts it deep in towards the attacking zone there and finds Daniel Kirk, who's been shifted into a forward role. So Captain Kirk has a chance to line up for his second goal and to give the Bays a 29-point lead.
Well, look, that's a way to use a player of the calibre of Mitchell, David Mitchell, with a penetrating kick. There's nothing better, if you're a forward, to have the football coming in so quickly and just cover so much distance that there's no chance of flooding and everything in. It's a 50-50 contest. And look, okay, if they've got the goal-scoring power, then Mitchell doesn't need to be up there, and he's probably far more effective of that half-back line, and whoever came up with that move at Glenelg should be proud of themselves, because that is paying dividends at the moment.
So Daniel Kirk lining up. We are right behind the series. He's going to shoot from about 40 metres out. Kicks on its way. Goal umpire hardly has to move. That is a goal. Daniel Kirk kicks his second, and Glenelg now move out. 19 goals to 9, 123, leading West Adelaide by 29 points. 14-10 at 94. Chris, a good master move there for Daniel Kirk.
Yeah, Daniel Kirk pushing forward gives Glenelg another solid option. He's taken about 3 or 4 strong marks today. But isn't it an amazing sight watching David Mitchell line up from the centre circle and just unload?
We are talking about a ball there, people.
Yes. Okay, we're back in the middle again, and West Adelaide certainly have a bit of work ahead of them if they're going to win this game of football, their second victory this afternoon. But Glenelg look to be in control at the moment. Comes out towards Mules. Certainly the Tigers with their tails up. Those tenacious Tigers are running right now as Allen comes through the middle of the ground. He's up to Kirk, and he's taken all before him, beaten 2 opponents there, and it's a wonderful mark. And well, West Adelaide, they've certainly got their hands full with Kirk, Rogers, Doldig, Douglas and McConnell. Certainly a very potent forward line, and very certainly, well, Glenelg seem to be headed. They're onto the road to the finals.
They need to think very seriously about this matchup. I don't think Jeremy Jakes is going to have the mobility to go with Daniel Kirk. They need to perhaps think about putting someone like Matt Ullman back there. Shift Ryan O'Sullivan into the ruck, because O'Sullivan does get his hands on the tap-outs there. Kirk is going to continue to get away from Jakes. Might be time to bring Jakes to the bench and perhaps look at a smaller player down there to try to feed off the crumbs at this stage. So Daniel Kirk is lining up now for what will be his 3rd goal and his 2nd goal inside 2 minutes. We're right behind this one once again. Groundhog Day in not every sense of the word, unfortunately there. He sends the ball out towards the boundary line, just punched over there by the Bays. Now, in fact, it is going to be out on the full, so the Bloods have a chance to relieve the pressure. And when they are now trailing by 29 points, they desperately need a goal. And Luke Donaldson is going to try and set up this next attacking move. Ben Haynes is making a lead for him across the ground. That would be suicide when he's 3-on-1 to the Bays players. He still keeps making that option. Ben, you need to look at a different option apart from that. Sends the ball further down the lines here, and meeting it nicely there is the West Adelaide player. Can't quite pick that one up.
Greiger.
It's Ben Greiger, as a matter of fact. I hadn't called him very often today. Never high in the stats, but he always does a fantastic job at full back there with those 1%ers. Greiger now only about 55 metres out from the Glenelg goal. This next kick's going to be vital. He elects to play the ball further down the lines on the outer wing. Coming out and meeting it, though, is Ryan Willits, just drifting across the back of the pack. He's played quite well for the Bays today. He's done lots of nice things there. Handball's off to a Bays teammate who sends the ball again down the lines there once again. A Bays player, a Bloods player, I should say, was bundled out of the contest here, unfortunately. Looks like we're going to see a free kick here to Brett Backwell, however. Bloods player was deemed to be infringing, so Brett Backwell in those luminous boots, which is very useful when it's starting to get this dark. Ball is going to be sent into towards the centre of the Adelaide, the Glenelg Oval, I should say. It's not quite that long to go into the Adelaide Oval, but he does find Paul Sherwood. Paul Sherwood now looking for the next player down there. Have a look behind him, fellas. There's not one player in the other arc. Every single player is now in the Glenelg attacking arc. Ball comes up and towards the centre line once again there. Justin McConnell lurking down the front of the pack, looking for goal number 7, no doubt there. Bloods have got the numbers here once again, though, and relieving the pressure nicely there is Pearson. Handball's off to Haynes. Haynes manages to find a teammate there in Buckley. Buckley handballs the ball off towards Dragosevic, who handballs the ball further down towards Slattery now. They're running themselves into trouble now, the Bloods, and they've tripped over each other. This is going to be a very critical turnover because the Bays have certainly got plenty of numbers there. Ty Allen sends them deep in towards the attacking zone. It's a 3-on-1 contest. And meaning it almost there was Daniel Kirk, couldn't quite hold it. Now he has been paid the mark, as a matter of fact. No, it's been paid as a free kick. Guess who's going to kick goal number 7? Justin McConnell there. And fellas, if you're doing the votes right now, no prizes for guessing who'd be number 3 on the top of the list there, Chris.
Yeah, Justin McConnell pops up late at the end, but what about the work halfway down the ground? West Adelaide really should have run that ball out. They had all the players running with them. Fortunately, weren't able to put it together. Glenelg rebounded, and McConnell gets on the end of just another one. Goal number 7, Chris.
Goal number 7 indeed, and very accurate football all across Adelaide at the moment. This game's had 34-19 in total. We see it the only over at the moment, 30 goals, 7 in total over there. Alberton has 28 goals, 13, and at Cooper's it's 21 goals, 14. So no wind makes for good attacking football, Damien.
Yes, certainly, and a fine day for football here. Good day for goal kicking. As Glenelg come out of the centre once more, they're certainly now looking for percentage. A bit of percentage, I think about 3% behind South Adelaide at the moment. hoping to bridge that gap. Kick into the forward line, a high fly by a player there in Kirkby. Chance for Douglas. Is that Douglas there?
I think it might have been Rory Kirkby, actually.
Kirkby. Snap that. And I'll pick up my glasses. As he gets the minor score, so Glenelg now move into double figures as far as behinds go. They're 20-10, 130, leading West Adelaide 14-10, and 94.
The ball's actually gone into the backyard of one of the players down the street there. So we've got plenty of time here to fill a bit of space.
So it may have a bit of barbecue fat
in fact,
on the football.
In fact, believe it or not, no, there we are.
Oh, you've got it?
No.
Some
young lad has picked it up and he's run off down the street with it. I kid you not. I kid you not. There is and there's security guards off after him. Have a look at this.
Okay.
This is very comical. Yep, some lad has got the ball and he's gone sprinting off down the street, and now there's a yellow coat chasing him. Oh, this is fantastic spectacle, I tell you what. Anyway, back to the real action, because no doubt the Cost Constabulary will catch up with him.
Someone's coming back with a football.
Ah, good.
Yep. Maybe someone who was doing kick to kick actually threw over their own football. Okay, boundary throw in Glenelg's forward line. The Rucks go at it again. Chance for Ruwalt. His kick was smothered. Allen is in there fighting hard for Glenelg, but he's wrapped up in a tackle by O'Sullivan, and the umpire has no choice but to ball it up deep in Glenelg's forward line, where Glenelg, well, certainly this has been the scoring end of this game. Only the third term where the trend was reversed, where Glenelg outscored West Adelaide. As the ball comes out towards Kirkby. Kirkby is met solidly there by his West Adelaide opponent. And how does the umpire see that? No, nothing illegal there. So there'll be another ball up deep in Glenelg's forward line again. Not too far out from their goal. They're looking, as I said, for their 7th win in 2006 and hoping to get back in the finals, as we see a quick snap by a Glenelg player there in... Is that?
Mark Ruwalt.
Ruwalt, number 17 for the Bays, gets their 21st goal. Chris.
Excellent goalman, Mark Ruwalt, opportunist player. He's only little, but he's as tough as they come, and just gets on the end of another one. Excellent work by Glenelg, but slipping away here with the win now.
Funny as you just mentioned that story very briefly about the ball coming back in from kick to kick, Damien. I remember back in the 80s that actually did happen in a game at Football Park. The ball went over there and a kid threw his own football back into the turf there. The only reason that it was noticed is that when the umpire went to go back in and throw the ball up, he noticed the kid's name written on the ball.
Yep. Okay, now, as we've been reminiscing, there has been a free kick awarded to...
Richard Douglas?
Yeah, Richard Douglas. Now, I don't know what happened there. There must have been some sort of incident after the goal was kicked, and Richard Douglas, without the ball going back into the centre of the ground, has kicked Glenelg's 22nd and his 3rd. So actually quite a handy game today for the Bays by Richard Douglas.
Yes, he's certainly done well, hasn't he, Chris? There 3 goals from your number 1, or the Glenelg's number 2 pick in the mini draft.
Yes, no, he's been a very good pickup for Glenelg. Missed quite a few games through the mid-season there with injury, but he's back now. Played well last week, had a good game today, and looks like he put the second football into that same backyard.
Yes.
So rather than cabbages growing up in the backyard, you've got footballs coming up.
That's right, those neighbours are getting irritable. So West Adelaide look to they'll be having 1st and 10th pick in next year's mini draft, the way they're going today. Anyway, back in the middle as the umpire bounces the ball up again. Players fighting hard for the football. Comes out towards Cranston there of Glenelg, but in the meantime, umpires picked out a free, and Donaldson's a bit unhappy with what's transpired, and Brett Backwell, who was certainly the leading possession, well, one of the leading possession getters for Glenelg in that first half, has got the football. Kick out towards the forward line. Ben Haynes marks, plays on, and is written into the ground. Was he?
Yeah, pushing the back was called there. Bit of grounds there.
Actually, it was Hutchins, sorry, who played on there, was lucky to escape that. But unfortunately for West Adelaide, they didn't make much of that kick. Comes out towards, another push in the back by Jakes onto Backwell. Says, how do you love the Glenelg turf here? As the football comes out towards McConnell, he had a grand day today. Kick in towards the captain, and that's something good to see Ben Mules lining up for his second goal.
That's right, yeah, he's been very good, Ben Mules. Like the work of their Sunquist off the back flank. He's been very refreshing so far also today. But plenty of opportunities there for Brent Backwell, and also nice to see Bryce Gibbs, who is now touted as the #1 draft pick. Well, fellas, after a draw in Essendon Carlton, who knows where he's going to be heading at the end of the season.
Both clubs, they'll take half each.
I'd say even if each club got half, they'd be happy with that, because he's going to be a pretty damn fine AFL player. As Ben Mules comes in and kicks right on the 50, kicks on its way. Nothing wrong with the accuracy there. That is a goal. So that is Ben Mules' second, as we see a change here. Ben Moore coming off, and coming on is Luke Panozzo there, Chris, as Glenelg now open up a 48-point lead.
Yeah, it's disappointing for West Adelaide. They just totally let the floodgates open for Glenelg now. But interesting to see the defenders all pushing down forward to give Glenelg midfielders just a ton more options, and Ben Mules getting on the end of it and kicking his second goal for the day, which is something you wouldn't call too often in football.
Yes, it's been a disappointing finish in this game by West Adelaide. They certainly started well and were very confident in that first half of this football match, but since half-time have been very disappointing. Back in the middle now, chance now for West Adelaide again. Donaldson, who's been moved in the centre of the corridor. Comes out towards Jericho. Jericho back to Donaldson. Donaldson sends West Adelaide deep into attack. Chance there for Jakes, who's been shifted up forward after having his hands fall in the back line. Good work there by Brinknell, trying to crash through a couple of Glenelg players there, but unable to, and the ball is forced over the line, and we'll have a boundary throw in deep in West Adelaide's forward line, where we've played nearly 15 minutes of football, so there's still plenty of football left. Still plenty of time for Glenelg to increase their percentage.
Ball comes spiralling back into play once again there. Good tap from Cranston in the John Hinge direction. He finds Bryce Gibbs from that classy work there from Bryce Gibbs. Kicks it out into the open spaces there of the Glenelg Oval. Coming rushing out to meet it there is Brett Backwell. If it sits for him, it does sit for him nicely there. And that's a clever work there from Brett Backwell. Handball's over there to a teammate. A bit of a fumbly handball there. So coming back in is Charles Slattery there. Good work once again there from Brad Yeoman. So he handballs the ball off to the player in Cranston by the looks of it. Good mark almost taken there by the West Adelaide player, but couldn't quite hold on to it now. They have got a few numbers here, and meeting it nicely there is Lance Oswald, I should say. Oswald sends the ball out to the Paul Pleasure direction. They've been a little bit too Paul Pleasure conscious after half-time. Brett Backwell gets another possession here, but coming out and meeting it very nicely there is the West Adelaide player in Ben Haynes, by the looks of it, wrapped up in a tackle there, and we're going to have a bounce right up on the 50-metre line, as we are now 54 points open out for the Glenelg Football Club. So the ball's about to be thrown up once again. Cranston wins the tap ahead of O'Sullivan. Goes out in the Backwell direction once again there. Trying to come in and lend a bit of support there is Ben Mills. Unfortunately, the main support he has lent is by sitting on top of the West Adelaide player, as Ben Hollands comes in and rushes through the pigeons to go and take a spot resting in the forward lines there. Ben Haynes is running there with Bryce Gibbs, roughing up the youngster, letting him know what AFL football is all about. Ball comes over the top once again. Brad Yeoman sends a kick in towards the 50-metre arc here for the Bays. No one can quite take a mark there. They've got a few players here to lend a bit of support though. Ball comes down in the direction there of Luke Donaldson, and we're wrapped up once again, so we're going to have another ball up about 40 metres around from the Glenelg goal this time.
Yes, perhaps Ben Haynes was saying to Bryce Gibbs, you're going to Carlton, not Essendon.
Winning the ball out here, though. Whistle has blown, and it's going to be a free to Glenelg by the look of it. And Brett Backwell is going to be lining up for a shot. This will be his first goal. There's been 10.
Hands the ball off to Mitchell.
Oh, beautiful
and
work.
Mitchell
there.
a thumping kick
Fence.
and sends it through. Number 22 gets Glenelg's 24th, Chris.
And his first and the 11th individual goal kicker for the Bays.
Yeah, excellent goal there. Mouse probably should have got on the end of that one. He's had a terrific day, but David Mitchell across the half-back line, he's just been excellent all day. I think he loves the environment where he can actually just kick long at all costs, but Glenelg now running away with this contest.
And an interchange coming on is Ben Moore and the punter David Mitchell going off for a well-earned rest as the ball goes back into the centre there.
So this is the third game. Next week will be the third home game in the row for the Bays, and they've got Port Adelaide here next Sunday. Is that correct? Saturday? Next Saturday? Yep, next Saturday, sorry. Here again at the Bay. So and in the meantime, we've got another recalled bounce.
Shane Harris, if you're listening, the bouncing isn't improving.
It started off pretty well, but since the sun's got, just hidden behind the clouds, the umpires have got distracted. Okay, back in the middle. and with the throw up, and well, it wasn't to the advantage of the West Adelaide ruckman and O'Sullivan. He's lying on the ground. In the meantime, Backwell's got the football, sends it, shoots in a pass to Graham, and Graham thought about playing on, but now he's going to go back and have a kick and think, yeah, well, why not? I may as well have a shot. We're 10 goals up.
I know why O'Sullivan's bending over, and unfortunately there's not much a trainer can do to help him in this particular situation, as the West Adelaide trainer does come out. Coming off here is Daniel Kirk, and going on is Rory Kirkby. So
Kirk A for Kirk B.
Kirk A for Kirk B. It's all very poetic up here in the box as Matt Graham lining up for what will be his second goal. Right on the 50, kicks on its way, gets a little bit up and under with that, but otherwise that's a very nice kick. So Graham kicks his second. They are running right away with this now, the Bays, and this might be their highest score on the Bay Oval this year. 25 goals, 10, 160 leading West, 14, 10, 94. They've stopped to award the Bloods, Chris.
Yeah, no, West Adelaide just totally stopped playing, guys. Glenelg obviously have to hurt them on the scoreboard, and they're doing that. They've now blown this out to a 11-goal lead. But you can just see this quarter, guys, Glenelg are just much more ferocious at it. They're creating their opportunity, and this time converting.
So before this game started, South Adelaide were on 53.84, Glenelg 51.96 percentage-wise. So the Bay is hoping to bridge that gap here this afternoon. As the ball comes out towards Yeomans of Glenelg, sends Glenelg forward once more. Chance there for a player who's wrapped up in a tackle, but West Adelaide now need to do something. Haynes, they've been very quiet this quarter, Westies. Over to Donaldson.
Oh,
they're a bit rattled at the moment.
Whoa!
And there's a fight going on, and a couple of players unhappy with each other.
Be very careful, Mark Ruwald.
Like, yeah, Ruwald, who's a bit of a fiery customer, and Jake's there wrestling on. Ball comes out to the assassinator in Oswald. Sends West Adelaide forward, looking for Welsh. Thumped away from him. Moore's there cleaning up for the Bays. Sends the ball back into the centre of the ground. It eludes O'Sullivan. Comes out towards Backwell. He's tackled by Haynes in the middle of the ground, and Haynes probably has him in looks to be a headlock there, but no, in an arm lock. Maybe a bit of arm wrestling going on there, and the umpire will just throw it up in the middle of the ground.
Yes, tried to do a little bit too much there, Backwell. Could have been grounds for holding the ball. He did have a bit of an opportunity there, but the umpire errs on the side of the ball carrier and elects to call for the bounce. It's another nice bounce there. Apologies to Shane Harris for that one. Ball comes over the top there and bundled out there by Lance Oswald. He sends it out into the direction of a teammate there, but they can't quite get their hands on the ball. West Adelaide wrapped up in the tackle here once again is the Bay player. We're going to have another bounce up about a metre further on. West Adelaide now trailing by 66 points after what looked to be some promising signs there at three-quarter time. So Wayne Wiedemann's got another interesting week here ahead as the Bloods roll on towards the wooden spoon, unfortunately, this season. Bounce up there, almost could have been recalled. The umpire did think about it. Donaldson sends the punch out there. Only player who manages to find is Luke Panozzo. Panozzo runs through the centre of the Glenelg Oval, puts them all out in front of his Glenelg teammate, and they've got to have a chance here to ride back in and get the goal. He's got mates calling for it everywhere. Graham's screaming for it. They're all lining up for it now. Perfect pass into the centre there. Actually, it wasn't so perfect. No, not a bit earlier there, Chris. Ball's bundled at the feet of the Glenelg player, and we're going to have a ball up about 45 metres out from the Glenelg goal, Damien.
Yes, and well, it's been a disappointing second half, as I mentioned before, by West Adelaide. They got within 11 points at one stage, and we fancied they'd go on with it. But obviously, once Glenelg got a couple of goals, the heads were down. And West Adelaide, well, they're continuing on their bad form that they showed last week in the second half against Glenelg. And there's no talk, there's no team play. It's all gone missing. It was all there in the first half, but it's slowly disappearing.
And Glenelg is starting to ring the changes now, trying to rest up for this critical clash next week with Port Adelaide, because you would imagine that Port Adelaide would go down to North at Alberton after trailing by 64 points at three-quarter time. So this match next week is going to achieve massive proportions, because Port Adelaide are actually in a vulnerable position to drop out of the five boys, particularly depending on what transpires at Cooper Stadium there, with Nord only trailing by 10 points. So Glenelg now lining up here for goal. Through Rogers, kicks on its way there, drifting off a little bit at the end there, but there is a goal there towards Matthew Doldig. So Doldig kicks his fourth for the day. Bays are marching right away with this 26 goals 10, I should say, 166 to West Adelaide, 14 goals 10, 94. Chris, this just about would be the highest score at Glenelg Oval this year.
Yes, no, I think it would be this year, but reward for hard work for Matt Doldig. Has toiled pretty hard. as a big man, he's not known for chasing down opponents from behind, but good to see the players running this out right until the final siren.
So back in the centre now, it can't be too much. Well, you just saw the time clock on the screen, so that said 20 minutes, and 20 minutes has gone in this last quarter. So Glenelg think, well, there's still plenty of time and we're enjoying ourselves. West Adelaide can't wait for that final siren. As the ball comes out to probably the best man on the ground, and McConnell kicks out towards the forward line, and Rogers. Rogers wastes no time, but he's got no one to give it off to immediately. West Adelaide now through Buckley, who's played a good first game up for his club this afternoon. Kicks out towards Bricknell now, centre wing position, and West Adelaide, who haven't been up the forward line for probably 3 or 4 forward 50s this quarter, aren't going to get there at this stage, as Hinge plays it pretty well for Glenelg, and he's got a player in the middle of the ground, and it's who else would you think but McConnell. Handballs over the top, player there running towards the open goal is Graham, and Graham kick is astray and through for a minor score, so Glenelg now get another behind. 26-11, 167. West Adelaide 14-10, 94.
Unselfish play from McConnell. He would have been entitled to line up for goal number 8, but he decided to hand off to an opponent. So good team play there from the Bays forward, kicking 7 goals today. His best haul since coming over from Victoria. So now,
where was he from in Victoria?
Sandringham, if I'm not mistaken.
Werribee.
Werribee.
Thank you very much.
Where Mitchell came from.
That's correct. So the ball now comes out once again in his... Oh, great mark across the front of the pack there by the West Adelaide players. One of the marks of the day so far. Fantastic work there by Ryan O'Sullivan, who handballed straight off to a teammate. Now they've got a bit of a chance to get a bit of a run here as David Piacini lets go down the lines. He's looking in the direction here of Luke Jericho, but John Hinge has worn him like a glove there after half-time. And we're going to have a throw-in right in front of us here on the card table for the Pine Lodge C31 match of the day, which sees the Bays leading now by 73 points. And we've just found out that Justin McConnell is actually from North Ballarat, so we've traded the poor lad 3 times in 2 seconds there. Ball comes out the back here towards Ben Moore. Ben Moore sends the ball into the direction of Ryan Willits. He's been much better today after having a bit of a slow start to the season. In the Brad Yeomans direction. We haven't called Yeomans too often, but when he has his touches have been quality. Now the ball heads out into the direction here once again. They've got numbers racking up for it here, the Bays. Pick a man if you like, and he does. He finds Richard Douglas, who is now going to line up for goal number 4 for the Classy Crows player. And Damien, do you think they are a chance of breaking the 200 barrier the way they are playing at the moment?
200, what's that? That's with another 6 goals they need. 6 goals in about 5 minutes of football.
There will be a stack of time on in this quarter.
Yes, absolutely. Where they were, what were they at the end of this quarter?
Neglected to write the scores
17. There were 17 goals at the start of this quarter. At their 10th goal of this term, and their 27th of the game.
27-11, 173. Now, this is actually giving a nudge to the highest score in the SANFL this season now. West Adelaide 14 goals, 10 at 94. So the Bays have certainly had to break a few records today, Chris.
Yeah, it's been a disappointing last quarter for West, but it will go into serious time on here. But Richard Douglas just lining up. It's just a matter of pick me and kick me. Everyone's just having a shot this quarter.
Yeah, certainly Glenelg brimming with confidence now. A 10-goal quarter. They know that it's only percentage that's keeping them out of the 5 at the moment, and they're determined to get in there this afternoon. As we get another recalled bounce. Total recall today as far as the umpires are concerned. As Piacini, certainly the on-ballers for West Adelaide have been very quiet in the second half of this game. Kick out towards Hollands, and Hollands finds Welsh with only his second opportunity.
Go for it quickly, the goal square's empty.
Yeah. Well, Welsh would fancy himself, but his last kick from about this distance, he made the distance comfortably, but strained the kick in going for the distance. As we wait on Scott Welsh now, coming in, kicks, got too close to the man on the mark, and thus has affected the kick. It makes it very easy for the Glenelg offenders to race away with the football. Kick out to the outer side. Poorly directed kick because it's fallen in the hands of Ben Haynes, leading possession getter in the competition, and no doubt he'd still be up there after today's effort.
And he sends the ball out to his fellow Ben there, in Ben Hollands, who puts the ball over towards Matt Illman. Matt Illman has a long bomb there from about the 60-metre mark. Justin McConnell at both ends of the ground at the moment, and the The Glenelg people up here are erupting. He's had a fantastic effort and deservedly getting all the applause from the Glenelg side. Ben Moore wins the possession from that stoppage there. Bundle over the boundary line here by the Glenelg player in Rory Kirkby. So we're going to have a boundary throw in right in front of us here. Glenelg 27 goals 11, 173. West Adelaide 14, 10, 94. Unhelpfully, the scoreboard operator's taking down the scores at other grounds, so we're not sure exactly how the other games are going there. Ball's about to come bundling back into play once again. One out there by Ben Moore, who bundles the ball further along the boundary line, about 12 metres on, and we're going to have another boundary throw in as we are now ticking over to 27 minutes of this quarter. So that 200 mark may just be a little bit elusive now for the Bays as the boundary umpire lets them send the ball spinning back into play on its trajectory. Base over apex it goes once again here. Winning the ball out nicely though is Brad Yeomans. He's had a pretty good last quarter there. Sends the ball deep in towards the attacking zone here for the Bays. Plenty of players coming out to meet it. Mainly Bays players, unfortunately, there for the West Adelaide fans. But the Bloods do have enough numbers to rack it up, and we're going to have a ball up about 25 metres out from goal. Coming up from the bottom of the pack there is Alex Hutchins. I've liked the look of this young kid there. He's only his second game of league football, and he's showing plenty down there. A good cool head in the clinches, Damien.
Yes, absolutely. And just looking through the budget for the highest score so far this season, and I think that was kicked by North Adelaide on a Friday night against Sturt, 27-16. So Glenelg 5 points away from that. That might be better going for the goal rather than the 5 points. As the kick, a big booming kick by Panozzo into the forward line for Glenelg. The chance to get their 28th goal. Yeomans had an opportunity there, but cut off by Dragicevic. Kicks out towards Buckley, the first gamer for the West East side. Nice handball there. Over to his teammate. And kick up towards Jericho, who's been disappointing this afternoon. Bryce Gibbs mops up there. Over to his teammate in Hinge. Hinge gets a handball cut off by Vanderloo, certainly been quiet in this second half. Ben Moore, it races away, has two bounces, handballs inside to his captain and Mules, gets it back from Mules. Moore into the centre of the ground, kicks and finds Ruwalt for Glenelg's side. Might be very close to that siren, and very close. If he puts this through, Glenelg may have the highest score in this competition this year.
So, you would have expected that Glenelg would take the points here today, but perhaps not by quite this much, particularly at half-time there, where I know that at least one of us in the box thought that West Adelaide were a chance of running out with that one, but Glenelg have really stepped into overdrive this second half. Great signs from Mark Micken as we're right behind Ruwald as he attempts to kick the Bays into immortality for the 06 season. And that has gone straight through the centre there. That is Ruwald's second for the game. And he is the 11th individual goal kicker there for the Bays, Chris. 28-11, 179, leading West 14-10, 94.
Yeah, second goal for the quarter for Ruwald. Just getting on the end of some terrific work from Ben Moore down the side of the wing there. Glenelg just absolutely smashing West this quarter. After a three-quarter time deficit, this is just an absolute demolition.
Yes, and Glenelg are now up by a point on the highest score for this season. The previous one was held, as mentioned before, by North Adelaide, 27-16. So 179 playing 94 as an aircraft goes over above us here at the Glenelg Oval to make it a little bit darker. They're not going to put on the lights. They're just going to make us try and pick out these players as best we can. As it's Dragicevic who gets a handball onto Haynes. He hasn't stopped trying, at least for West Adelaide. Kicks onto the left boot, and he's finding his captain in Piasani. Piasani back to Haynes. So another couple of possessions there to Ben Haynes. Kick up towards Slattery, who started the game fairly well, has fallen out of it. Kicks into the centre of the ground and has found Paul Pleasure, is it? No?
Dragicevic, because he's about to send the ball down the line to
Vanderloo. So it's Vanderloo now. I just can't see some of these players. Vanderloo went to go back on the mark. Now races around the boundary to kick a goal, but unfortunately he's missed.
We missed it by that much, as they would say on an immortal 60s TV show, and we'll save that trivia question for another week. And Justin McConnell now, he's going to have a go at both ends of the ground. Sends the ball from the fullback, kick out, looking for and finding the potential #1 draft pick in Bryce Gibbs. Fellas, this is one of those times we get a chance to relish seeing a real potential superstar at SANFL level. Of course, last week we called Tom Hurley, and now we've got Bryce Gibbs this week. So we've called the 1 and 2 picks probably for this year's draft in consecutive weeks as the ball is about to go over the boundary line for a kick out on the full. So West Adelaide have a chance to try and restore a little bit of respectability. If nothing else, they might get close to breaking the 100, which would at least encourage Wayne Wiedemann. He'd be devastated after this last quarter. They certainly had plenty of opportunities to really increase their respectability. Why on earth would you kick the ball backwards in a situation like that when you kick to a contest? One only knows, and that's probably only the West Adelaide player who kicked it, because Glenelg have now affected the turnover. Sends the ball into towards 50. It's a one-out contest here. The Bays probably have the advantage here, as Graham is wrapped up in a tackle there very nicely there. Bit too high, unfortunately, and he now has a chance to line up for what will be his third goal for the impressive youngster from the Bays. As we have now gone 28 minutes in on the time clock, as Glenelg continue that bid for the 200 points. And Damien, if they do kick 200, the Louts are going to party like it's 1969.
1969, okay. Well, I was only 4 when, I shouldn't mention my age, but anyway.
I knew I'd listen to that of you sometime.
Yes. So as we wait on the kick towards goal, the 29th goal from Glenelg has just eluded them, so they move on to 28-12, 180. Leading West Adelaide 14-11-95, and West Adelaide, well, they really have fallen away and have been very disappointing. They were right in that game at three-quarter time. Perhaps the signs were there. They were starting to drop off in that third quarter, but the final siren has sounded here at Glenelg Oval, and Glenelg have run out comfortable winners. As we hear the club's theme song, we'll get the score up 28-12, 180 to West Adelaide, 14-11-95. Your commentators this afternoon, thanks to damotainment.com, have been myself, Damien Woodards, Chris Kendall and Chris Keane. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you very much, viewers, for watching this game.